Uh-oh.
And we're live. Welcome to the Late Sesh, everyone. Cheers, chat. What's up, panel?
Cheers, everybody.
What's up,
Cheers,
man?
guys.
We got Spartan Grown blasting through time, as you can see.
Blasting through time.
Rosemary Oasis with Red Setter and Becca.
Nice shirt,
And
Becca.
Fergoli. Yep. We were just talking about it, Fergoli. And
I got the Clementine one on tonight, but
I almost wore
fear not.
Clementine.
Fear not.
It's a solvent, you know.
What's that?
Badge
Resistance
of honor.
education. Oh, that's your Dare badge. Nice.
I don't know that they
Dare
had
medal.
badges. for that. I
Rolly
didn't even
coming
know
in
they had them.
tonight.
It's not
with-
just a badge, guys. It's a medal. I graduated from Dare in 5th grade,
Did you
6th
get-
grade? I think it's 5th
Did you
grade.
get a stuffed lion?
I don't remember. I don't
Well,
have it.
They
If I
only
did.
gave us medals. They only gave us medals if we won the Dare Award. And
I
that-
didn't get. I won the Dare Award and had to do a whole speech in front of the whole school in
Yep,
5th
I
grade,
did.
and they didn't give me a medal. I don't think, but I got a stuffed that lion. You know, the mascot.
Well, they really cheaped out in the 90s, huh?
Yeah,
Or
I
the
guess so.
Early 2000s, whenever you
Early
grew up.
2000s it would be. Yeah, they
I wanna
cheaped out.
find stuff.
Yeah, economic times, you know.
That's probably why I just started doing drugs. Oh yeah, they only gave me a lion. Had they
No.
given me a medal, I probably would have been a scientist. But no,
I've got my
you know,
speech somewhere. Mama Red has that sucker somewhere. Cheers, Daddy Red.
cheers, Daddy Red. Cheers, chat.
Dare medal somewhere. I bet my Dare medal is somewhere.
You guys can compare them, see if they're from the same
Look at
manufacturer.
how wonderful he is. He's never gonna do drugs, and I
Uh.
still don't do drugs. I habitually smoke cannabis cigarettes. And,
Just resisting over here.
resisting to resist.
I mean, I'm not abusing any drugs. I'm not abusing anything, quite frankly. So
It's herbal medicine. What are you talking about, guys? It's
Yeah.
herbal
Yeah,
medicine.
but if you're looking at it from Dare's perspective, you're hitting every list on everything on their list. Yep.
Perspective, you're
No, they're talking about some made-up thing called marijuana. I'm talking about cannabis. Totally different. Totally
Yeah.
I got a great one.
Do they even still do Dare?
This
No.
is
No, they
Oh,
actually
okay.
they changed it probably not too long after you graduated from Dare to Great, and it was like gang resistance education and training. I believe is what it was
Nice.
called.
I
And
didn't have anything. I didn't have
nice.
great. I went to Ann Arbor public schools and they're a little
they're like, "Welcome to the psilocybin study room. This is what we're gonna do for the second semester of 6th grade. We're gonna learn how to grow mushrooms."
I've got a great quote right here. This is John Elrichman. And mind you, the Elric reagent is what you can test for DMT, psilocybin, and LSD to test for positives. That's called the Elric reagent. I don't know if there's any combination. Anyway, this is, you can Wikipedia this. This isn't just,
Oh, you want me to bring it up?
This isn't just red setter facts.
Yeah, it may or may not just be my facts, but it could. I mean, who knows? But maybe there's still propaganda.
I'm ready, buddy.
Go,
Maybe it has a political sway, whatever.
we don't know how to
This
do
is
that.
a quote. You want to know what this war on drugs was really all about? The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies: the anti-war left and the black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew, this is not my words, by the way, this is the quote. We knew we couldn't make it illegal either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and the blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. And this was the assistant to president of domestic affairs under President Richard Nixon, who knowingly began the war on drugs. So basically, they began the war on drugs. And we all know all this. So we all know about Anslinger, and most of us know about Anslinger and his ties with the, what was the Bureau of Narcotics, Bureau of Alcohol. Really, he was under investigative he was head of the bootleggers, during Prohibition, and then Prohibition became legal. Alcohol became legal, so he was almost out of a job. So he developed the Bureau of Narcotics, and Anslinger he was a racist. There's this huge story between about Anslinger and his hatred for like Billie Holiday and the jazz movement and things like that. That's just all if you want to call it known history. It is what it is, and then
Look at this graph related to the drug war.
you have these ties right here. This known fact of one of Nixon's appointees stating that
There he is, war on
that's
drugs.
it. They assumed that most hippies were far left and they were against the war. So and they all smoked weed, whatever. But really, I mean, a lot of people smoked weed. A lot of even the jazz, a lot of counterculture everywhere. Is a lot of cannabis is being, but heroin was really heavy in the jazz culture, and that's what Anslinger was a racist, and he was a known racist by his colleagues. And then you could almost say that Nixon was right there, almost coming up on his tail. Basically, they were trying to put an end to those opposing policy, government policy, at least what they're pushing policy,
Really quickly, while we're on this exact topic of
Oh, are you
pushing
going to tell everyone to
policy-
switch to live chat?
Yeah, switch to live chat. Don't forget, we're here. Welcome to the Late Sesh. Don't forget to switch to live chat. Red totally forgot to tell us, and Baked Bone. let us know.
Well, I knew Red would pull out. I gotta see the animation he's got. But
I just really quickly though, if you haven't watched it already, nice booty shot. If you haven't watched it already, speaking on this specific topic, Red and Becca, and this is something you can find on HBO. I'm not sure if you guys are have an account or whatever, but it's called White House Plumbers, and it's Justin Theroux and Woody Harrelson, and they're all about cleaning up the leaks in the White House. And there's only 2 or 3 episodes out, I think, so far.
Oh, there could be hundreds.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And I who knows how many they're actually going to come out with, but it's a very entertaining, kind of goofy look at this, this time in our American history. It's a very interesting perspective on
this
it.
5-part limited series.
Yeah, so it's not going to be much
about how Nixon's political saboteurs, these 2 guys, accidentally toppled the presidency while they were trying to protect it.
I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. We're talking about policy developed under Nixon. What happened with Nixon? Was he not the first president? Didn't he get impeached over some crazy shit about him stirring up some bullshit and Watergate and all of that other stuff? Can we really trust Nixon's policy? You know what I mean? Honestly, if you believe in the war on drugs, I mean, you're talking about Nixon. He was thrown out of office because he was a corrupt.
I mean, he started it, but let's be fair. I mean, Reagan and his beautiful wife Nancy, didn't they do a lot to exacerbate it as well?
Well, they were definitely in charge of the problem.
I think every president that didn't end it from the point it started to the point it ended exacerbated it and knew it.
And we're still going. You know what I
A
mean?
lot of them used to ride on it, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something about the war on drugs." Never happened.
Nah, I mean, I think President Obama was the first one that kind of maybe lent his hand in terms of doing something about it. Bush certainly didn't. Clinton certainly didn't. The other Bush certainly didn't. And I don't even think Trump really did. And I think Obama kind of offered up those concessions.
Let's see.
And then if you look up, there's a good camera shot or whatever you want to call it of him talking about the legalization of cannabis, and he really laughs it off. And so it's one of those guys that got put in under the premise of maybe he'll do something, and then of course when he gets in, nothing ever changes. And yeah, that's been the case for the last, I don't know, certainly longer than my lifetime.
They wrote those papers to not go after states of medical status, which I thought was great. They decided to actually do something with that. That was under Obama.
What do you got there, Spartan?
I was going to share something that was more current.
On the war on drugs, you want me to bring it up?
Yeah.
Here's what's perplexing, right? Look up methamphetamine. I'm pretty sure methamphetamine is a Schedule 2. narcotic.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Red.
So let's talk about this whole scheduling thing, and let's just look up at the different stuff. I'm pretty sure MDMA is Schedule 2.
This is that recent guy that got caught bribing.
Schedule 2. Cocaine.
This was the head of the Republican Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I think cocaine is Schedule 2, but I could be wrong about that one. But I'm pretty sure methamphetamine and MDMA and a lot of others are Schedule 2. Yeah.
All right, what you got there, Spartan?
There's a couple stories on here about in Michigan. Well, yeah, the former Speaker of the House pled guilty to accepting $110,000 bribes, and
oh, your computer's lagging.
he was taking bribes to give preferential treatment to people who were applying for licenses.
I want to remind people that this isn't just a cannabis issue. This isn't just because it's weed and there's just a bunch of corrupt people in the weed industry. Like people like to think that weed industry is like gangsters and shit. Like that's not what's going on. Like this is what's going on in policy. So this is our food industry. This is our clothing industry. This is our automobile. This is our biofuels. Everything that should be good for us. These are the people running the show. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what's encouraging.
What's big about this is the first one they caught in cannabis. Everybody's like, we've all known this stuff must have happened. I know it must have happened in Florida. They haven't caught anybody in Florida, but there's no way that they're the way that things rolled out. So, yeah. It's just I think it's nice
under the plea agreement he agreed to forfeit the 110. But then after that, there's 4 people involved.
Hey, you might want to turn off that blur.
And let's do right here.
You might want to turn off your blurs. You're lagging.
The blur?
It might just be that. Well, yeah, he's talking about.
Well, earlier he told me he was going to turn on the blur and see if his computer could handle it.
It might just be the sharing of it too. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's the blur. I just turned it off.
Yeah, it is for sure. You sound a lot better.
Yeah.
What's a blur?
It was like a filter background.
You can blur your background if you want.
Oh.
With stream, yeah.
You guys don't live in
so this one I thought was
live in a sweet house.
This one I thought was funny because it goes into detail on how exactly they got away with it. A Michigan businessman last week pleaded
live in a field of weed.
to paying bribes to his former head of the state's medical marijuana licensing board. The Detroit News reports John Daywood Delaley admitted to a federal judge that how he did it was he hired Rick Johnson's wife, Jan Johnson, as a consultant for $4,000 a month, and she filled out the forms that would end up in front of the board that her husband chaired.
Wow,
gotta love it.
Did she get in trouble too?
Yeah. No, I don't think she did.
This is probably
it says earlier this month, Daley, Johnson, Brian Pierce, and Vincent Brown.
80% of municipality decisions that involve our hard-earned tax-paying money. This type of shit's going on. Probably 85. Let's probably 89. Probably 92%. Fuck it, 99% of you fucking
99.9999 repeated decimal.
The encouraging thing is they're being caught, right? So
yeah, they're being caught, and we're all kind of calling them out for misrepresenting these days. I think a lot of people are like, our roads are fucked. This is all fucked. We
should have a solid, robust cottage industry, micro businesses.
Yeah, cottage cheese
markets. Fuck, dude.
Well, the roads do all suck, but they decided to fix them all at the same exact
time.
time.
Every exit, every
exit.
Thank
you, Governor Whitmer.
It's
the damn roads. That is what she ran on.
They take forever to fix them up here. It's ridiculous.
Come on, man. I am living in Jackson, and every goddamn highway around here and every road at the same time is being shut down. It's like even the side streets that you'd get around the highway with are being shut down.
I found a new one that was shut down the other day. I was like, are you kidding?
You pretend like it's just Jackson, but dude, it's everywhere in the state. And they
honestly,
you know what? And I didn't vote for her, and I'm not sure if I voted for anyone, but I will give it to Whitmer that she is currently quote unquote fixing the damn roads. And I've seen a lot of it, especially where I'm at, all the way from Port Huron to Flint. They've been fixing 69. There's shoot, even past that, pretty much all the way to Kalamazoo, past Lansing and all the way down to towards Jackson. They've been fixing 69. I mean, the whole thing's been torn apart all year long, and even in the last summer. So, there's definitely a lot of reinvestment going into our roads. I don't know who's to give credit to or whatever, but that is what she ran on. So I guess,
she's like Dr. Evil, except she has long hair. She has may or may not be real hair. It's just, she's, the she, not a he. And, but the thing is,
but we can be real.
She's like, kind of has like maybe the intelligence of Dr. Evil, but she's really firm on this fix the roads thing and just has no like,
Hold on. That's what you ran on, though. If you have forgotten in this,
I remember.
How long ago was that? Because
and that's why I call her Dr. Evil, because she's like, hey, I'll fix them all at the same.
I've got a 200-foot land bridge, and if you don't know what I mean by that, that means it goes over land. It's just going over a road, so it's 30 feet wide. It needs to be. They've been working on it for 2 years now.
Yeah, she ran on that about 8 years ago. Now she's been
that's
elected.
what I'm saying. Nothing's fixed up here.
There's good and there's bad.
Fixed is when you get elected for a second time, and that's when you can really push your agenda. Now, she, granted, she was doing things before then, but really, like, it's once you get your second term that you can really start like pushing your agenda, and we are going to start seeing that here in Michigan.
I was happy to see the three vetoes she smacked down the Republican lame duck session when the Republican at the end of the year last year in December, when they're getting ready to do the change where a lot of the Republicans had lost some seats and they were about to be replaced. They decided to push them 3 bills that would have changed some stuff with the cannabis, different cannabis laws, and she vetoed all 3 of them. So that put a smile on my face.
Nice.
And she said the reason wasn't because of anything in them. She just said the reason was because it was rushed through in a lame duck session. And no one got to read them. And I was like, yes.
No, yeah.
That's exactly how it should be.
Yeah. I wish they do that at the federal level. Holy shit,
Yeah. But yeah. I got my sex test back. I'm a male. No.
Oh, that's good.
That's good to know, man. We were all wondering.
I mean, what is the possibility of a false negative or a positive false?
Positive, I don't know. They didn't give me a percent on that.
Positive and positive negative.
No, but I got 31 females out of 54.
Nice.
So more females than males. So yeah,
can we immediately jump into the okay, first, I want to hear about that, how you did it, if there was a certain way, maybe you took like a golf
firing
club
squad.
Firing squad with what kind of firing?
A Chica Masa, it's called.
Okay, yeah. Those sweet Japanese scissors.
But I lined them up. I took them all off the table. I went through with a list. I said, hear ye. You have been dismissed.
Everyone.
And then I went number by number. Number
blow
6.
out their torches.
Where are you? Raise your hand. And you see a little fucking leaf kind of flutter. All right, get the. And I put them near the door, so they think they're gonna get free.
Oh.
But then
you teased them a little bit. Oh,
yep.
That's abuse.
Well, no, because
that's male planet abuse.
Hold on, no, it shows the females how good they have it. And because they're staying alive and everything.
Well, that just sounds like double down on abuse.
Oh, well. Hey, the plants are happy. And so then I get them all in line and I chopped them all down and just threw it in a Menards, leaf bag.
Wait, what did you do with the bag? You didn't mulch it? You didn't compost it?
When it's full, so that it dries.
Oh, yeah, okay. When it's full, I'll take it out back. No, I won't take it to the trash.
Okay.
They'll know.
It just keeps it from molding.
Yeah, I just don't want it. Yeah, just
it's like a free, almost like a free compost-ish bag,
Yeah, because the bag actually acts like a wick because it's paper.
Yeah.
I use those all winter long. I'll just sit there.
I do too.
How long do they last before they like break down?
Forever, dude.
Man, they're sturdy bags. We use them for stems at work when we like buck things. Like you can fit like a shit ton of stems in those things.
You could. Well, I mean, you could if you threw them in a compost pile, they're not gonna last very long. But
Oh,
and just like
well, yeah.
standing up in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
like,
But you
in
don't
my
need them to
gar- in my-
last long in a compost pile.
Yeah,
in my
just give me,
garage
like,
or in a
a
building,
room
that
or
lasts a
whatever.
long time.
Nice. Okay, that's good to know. At least like a full year kind of
And
thing.
you get 5 of them for
Over a
$2.50 or
year.
something like that.
I've had a
so-
couple. I've got a couple that are at least a year old.
I find the Menards ones are more sturdy than the other brands.
I like the Menards ones too. That's the ones
I
I've
saw
got.
Lowe's and Home Depot, and I was like, those are thin.
Meyer's
Those
pretty
are
good. Meyer's
Yeah,
pretty
same
good.
with
I haven't
Mine.
tried a Meyer one, but
Actually, the Lowe's ones. Lowe's ones were the ones that I was like, I haven't tried the Menards ones, but I got like 5 packs a couple years ago, and I've been solid because I used to run out of those motherfuckers. The leaves would fall really late in the seasons, dude, and they'd stop picking up. And by the time all the leaves would fall and I'd go to the store and get some bags, they'd be gone. So one year
yeah,
I stocked up. I bought like 10 packs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the year that I stopped
they're not gonna go bad in the closet, you know,
That
or
was the
something.
year I stopped bagging my leaves and giving them to the city. That was the year that I started composting everything, and I've since been going through these 10 packs of those fucking bags. It's been a couple years.
Yeah, that's 50 bags. That's,
I keep
yeah.
all my leaves now, and I, in fact, take my neighbor's leaves and whoever else's leaves I get my hands on. We're gonna go on there's a city next door. We're not going to say which one it is, so nobody else takes it. But they put all their leaves to the curb, and we're going to go with our. We're going to go.
I think that's like
You think
90% of the cities in
We're gonna
Michigan.
get
Yeah, but you think you're gonna take enough leaves that like
Well,
you're
we're
gonna
gonna
take
get
the whole
spoiled.
cities of leaves?
We're gonna go
Is
scoop
this
up
another chip drop?
at least a couple dozen bags of leaves.
He gets on an app called Leaf Drop and like literally they just cover his house. There's helicopters dropping
They just
leaves.
drop it in a blower and it's just blowing into his
Yeah,
backyard.
he has to
over
blow
the
it out just to get to
Hopefully
his
the sun
car.
doesn't change.
Red, we need to start a business. We'll do that, Red. We'll just have one of those fucking wood chippers that we drag behind a pickup truck with the wood sides, and we'll chip up those bags of leaves, and then we'll sell fucking the mulched leaves back to people.
There you go.
Mold.
For sure that exists.
Get your leaf mold. You guys want your
There we go. We can put them in plastic bags and just throw them in a building or outside.
Dude,
and
sell them
let
at
sit
gas
for a year.
stations.
That's leaf
Gas
mold.
stations are the best place to make money, dude.
3 or
They're
4
selling
TikToks.
bags of mulch for like $15, where you get it's like $1 a bag when you get it in bulk. It's so crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
3 or 4
Oh, well, yeah.
TikToks.
Who's buying their
Same thing with wood
mulch
chips.
at a gas station?
I
You
don't know.
know
They're
who.
selling it.
The same people that
Well,
have their
aren't
dogs
you
in their
a-
purse. The same
Are you
people.
talking about like a rural gas station where it's like the only source of anything for miles?
See, I don't know what's a mile from a Tractor Supply, like
Oh,
a
then that's
mile from a
ridiculous.
Menards,
That's
2
absurd.
miles from a 7 different garden landscaping
I'm
companies.
telling
I
you,
don't
it's the
understand.
same people, the same people with the fucking dog in their purse.
I don't think there's too many of those around me either. But
Oh yeah,
there's
there
gotta
are.
be.
They're
There's
everywhere.
gotta
They
be.
are everywhere.
They're everywhere. Purse
Yeah,
dog
Everywhere,
people.
man.
Yeah. That's the fizzling tail end of the Paris Hilton era.
Oh yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So they all in
Yeah.
their like late 30s at this point.
It's a late 30s, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, my era. Yeah,
I mean, I recognized it.
my
You know?
people. Yeah, there you go.
So I fed 3 snakes to my chickens the last 2 days.
What?
Damn, dude.
Dude, they're well. You guys saw I was
Are they
breeding.
garden snakes? What kind of snakes?
Yeah, gardener snakes. Every
Why are you
spring.
fucking with a
Why
garden snake?
are you feeding them to the chickens?
Because I got a 2-year-old, not even 2-year-old, running around my backyard. This thing's taller
You
than
want your
her.
chickens
Like,
to be strong and snake proof when it
I would
grows up?
like her to have
you
all
want
kinds
your
of fingers and toes.
So you want your
A gardener
2-year-old
snake's not
to
gonna
have...
get a finger
You
off
didn't
of
see the
off
size
of
of
a-
this gardener snake, bro. I'm telling you, this thing was.
I don't
Well,
think
that
you
gardener
can get
snake's
a
been
finger.
eating a lot of your fucking mosquitoes.
you
and
giving
now
that
your kids gonna get
Nah,
malaria
it's
because
not
you
I
don't
think
have
it might
enough
be
to eat your
getting
mosquitoes.
moles and mice too. Like maybe
Yeah,
other
it's probably
snakes.
getting a lot of mice right now.
Yeah,
And moles.
probably.
Yeah.
Moles.
That's what you need,
Ooh,
Diggs. You
I
need
need some
big-
snakes.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm
I
selling them
motherfucking snakes
$17
on
a
this
pop
motherfucking yard.
delivered.
I also heard that.
Oh
I also heard
man.
that coffee grounds will, but I don't.
Dude,
drink
I've been
coffee.
saving the shit.
Neither
I,
do
Yeah,
I.
I
I got
drink
3.5
coffee, yeah.
weeks of coffee grounds right now. I've been actually saving up. To be fair, I don't drink. Well, okay,
That's
so
good. That's good. Just to top dress or if you're tilling, like
100%, dude.
I know you
100%.
are, till that shit in.
Yeah, and there's I don't have enough to really use it for that purpose. I do with a lot of other things like wood ash that I heat my house with a wood, burning stove throughout the winter. So I have, I don't know, 200 gallons worth of wood ash I can top dress with.
Awesome.
There's of course chickens. We've got 21 chickens. We've got, I don't know, probably close to 2 square yards worth of chicken compost at this point. All those things will end up getting top dressed at one point. I don't know if this year, maybe next, but shit, where are we going with that? The snakes. we had some shit.
You were talking about what the hell were we talking about? Yeah, I don't remember, man. I've been smoking.
Yeah, dude, me too, man.
But that would be cool, like after you top dress, to like just put a little short fence in around where you've top dressed your plot of land, and then just let the chickens go to town in that and scratch it in for you.
So, dude, they've been my wife and I have been laughing because they've been like, we didn't even have to put mulch down in our flower beds this year, like our like ornamental flowers around the house kind of beds, because they went in there and dug up around every bulb and like dude, it's kind of wild. Like there's no weeds. There's all the leaf mulch we put in there, all the wood chip mulch we put in there last year, all of that has been broken down into around the beautiful flowering plants we have at this point. Everything, I couldn't even tell you half of them, but like tulips and lilies and these weird giant purple blooming things and all sorts of crazy flowers. But there's not a speck of anything but mulch and dirt between these flowers because the chickens have found them and they just sit and scratch and dirt bath all day. And I'm just a little concerned. We talked about this I think last night, and they keep jumping up into my secondary 25-gallon smart pots that we put some broccoli and beans and other plants in, and they're getting right up on there and like scratching out the seats. So I don't know what to do about that necessarily, but
chicken wire, man. Just chicken wire.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe some like I've got some scrog type screen or like beam, A-frame.
Start making little corrals and fences.
Right. And to be honest, I don't like their chicken shit all over my deck. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But
dude, I hate walking through their yard and then walking my shoes up on my deck. It's like as soon I want to take my shoes off at the end of the grass.
So we've invested in some pretty powerful like shoe scrubbing mats, at the doors, like inside and out. And we just, there's about 6 months out of the year here in Michigan where we just refuse to wear our shoes inside because you cannot step out onto the deck even with socks on, and go back inside without any chicken shit on your feet. So it's just one of those things, try to keep, inside clean. It's a necessity, but having like boots, work boots and things like that helps. But I'm not going to throw on the boots necessarily every time if I'm just going to go like open up the chickens, let them out, and in that process, I'm probably going to go through 10 landmines, on the way.
Like 3 sets of slides out in the back door.
Right.
One for like walking around the chicken. And I'm wearing those all day working on the greenhouse. And I end up finding myself walking through the house to get to the garage, to get to the trailer, back and forth. And I'm like, shit, I was just in the chicken corral like 20 minutes ago. Well, at least I walked through the garden a couple times. Fuck.
Yeah. I kind of scratch it all out.
Yeah.
I
Crocs. My Crocs.
Yeah.
At the back door.
Yep, I got 2 Crocs at the back, 2 pairs of Crocs at the back door, 1 pair inside of my garden, so that I, don't wear any of that stuff inside my, growing area either. But thank you, Rogue, ROGE, with a little apostrophe or whatever it is over it in chat. Coffee grounds. He's keeping me, or she's keeping me on track. So the coffee grounds, I've been saving about 3.5 weeks worth of espresso grounds. Now, we do about 4 shots of espresso between our household every morning, maybe a couple more throughout the day. That really doesn't equate to a lot of coffee grounds when it comes to, or when it is like in comparison to maybe making 8-12 cups at a time, where you've got like an actual cup of coffee grounds. If you ever done an espresso, like this amount of coffee grounds is about a shot of espresso, and maybe make 2 of those, and that's about 2 shots of espresso. That's pretty much all you're getting because you're using pressure and steam, and it's just a little bit different of a process. So I've been saving up for almost a month now, my espresso beans / coffee grounds, and it's barely enough to fill up like a 1 gallon stainless steel bowl. But my intention with saving those is to make, and I think we've talked about this before on the show, a black soldier fly larva farm, essentially. And this, it's a little bit of a engineered habitat, if you will, but essentially you're using your coffee grounds as an organic matter to attract black flies, which then go in there and they find find an environment in which to lay their larva. The larvae come out, and if you go to a Tractor Supply or another pet feed store, you'll see something that looks like mealworms or something similar. Maybe it's called black soldier fly larva. They're typically a dried larva. Looks like something you would never want to encounter in the wild. They're kind of creepy looking, but especially when they're alive. But even when
I was just saying, the way you see them alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like little grubs.
Yeah, little grubs, pretty much. But yeah, so those things they're very much harmless, but we're essentially going to breed those and using our old coffee grounds. They'll go after them, breed the larva. The larva will come out of that environment right into the mouths of our chickens, and our chickens will be well fed with a substantial source of protein and other delicious nutrients, all by just recycling our coffee grounds. So that was one of those things I kind of found online and found a useful method of recycling them rather than just tossing them out. And I still, to this day, even a month later, they say 21 days to make or break a habit. It might be 28 for me. I'm still like walking by the trash can, like almost about to dump out my coffee grounds. I'm like, oh wait, I have a bowl for this. We're doing something. We're making a project. And so, it's not a huge like cost saving thing. It's really just a method for creating a closed loop environment to create food, right? But if you go to the store and you buy a 5-pound bag of dried mealworms, it's like $36 a bag. So it's like $7 a pound for these things dried.
Yeah.
So
how long does a pound last?
an hour. Yeah, it doesn't last long at all. So
they really don't have as much nutrients, I don't think, either. I feed my bearded dragon mealworms.
Alive is
but black soldier fly, we would really like to start one of those up too.
These are dead.
We had a whole jar of coffee grounds just not that long ago. I guess we had some mold, so we had to compost it. But we have a bunch of blueberries too that we're going to put it in our mix. It's really good for blueberries. I'd imagine it'd be good for raspberries, black. Most
makes it acidic.
Really good for acidic. Yeah, it helps the acidity.
It's really good for compost too, like you did. It's high in nitrogen, so it'll make a good compost start. It'll get that thermophilic pretty quick.
You think, Becca? You think your chickens would eat a dubia roach?
Yeah, the chickens eat everything.
Would that be
anything
good for them?
smaller than a mouse, basically?
You could just breed dubia roaches for Rolly.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I didn't know the nutrient content.
They're not stinky. You just need a couple tubs.
So this is one of those things where you just leave outside too. I don't know if you can do that with dubia roaches.
You might be able to leave it on like a sunroom.
Because because I don't want to leave it inside at all. This is something where you literally put outside and the flies will attract to the organic matter, lay their eggs there, and they'll literally just the larva will just crawl out of the bucket, and as they're crawling out of the bucket or the environment, the chickens will come over and peck them. And like it's immediate.
I see, it's an automated thing too.
I thought you said doobie roach.
What keeps the chickens from flying into it?
Dubia.
It's an enclosed environment. It's like it's only big enough for the larva to get out.
They'll also eat a doobie roach.
No,
because a fly doesn't need much to get into.
Roaches and
go lay some larva or whatever.
Those go in the.
Apparently, dubia roaches eat coffee grounds.
Well, there you go. Might work out similar
concept. I don't think that they're like wild to here. Like, I don't think that they're native.
What the
everywhere.
hell? I'm still here.
What do you mean?
Maybe it only works like 4 months out of the year. Because roaches don't last year round.
Oh, it is a roach. Okay, it is you are saying roach.
Well, yeah, but this you wouldn't need to put out there. You would still have to feed the roaches, but you'd at least be closing the loop on the coffee grounds.
Feeding it what though? Am I just feeding it coffee grounds?
Yeah, feed it coffee grounds. I mean, if you want to feed it scraps like vegetable scraps,
I'm feeding the
stuff,
chicken
they'll
scraps.
eat that.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
so then just your coffee grounds.
I don't think.
And
I think
you go
for Grolles is he doesn't have to do anything, right? With the
Yeah, that's the thing. The Dubies still have a couple of things. Like you go out there and get, like you put egg cartons in there, like old ones, and then you take one out, it'd be covered in them, and you take it to the.
Yeah, no, I'm
So,
literally
yeah,
just trying to find like almost
Yeah.
like a stand I can set up where I just go. It's almost like a worm bin where I go dump my coffee rounds in, and there's just constantly food coming out of it, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's got to be somewhere close to the coop. You know what I mean? And it's probably
Yep.
only going to work about 8 months out of the year here because, I've tried, and flies don't like to exist in December, January, February, sometimes March here. So you might only get 8 months of the year for this anyway. But hey. I'm drinking coffee every day, so it's got to go somewhere. It's better than going to the dump, I guess.
Dude, her and I each do our own coffee, and we each grind up our own. I don't know what, like a quarter to a half cup of beans, and that's almost a full cup,
Like
probably
20
more than a full
grams.
cup. So yeah, probably at least a full cup of beans each. I do decaf, and she does roast, so we do just kind of do different coffees, but
it doesn't matter to the flies. It's all organic material,
it's all the same stuff,
The flies really came out, man. They been noticing them today and yesterday specifically, like with the chickens.
flies?
You gotta figure that
Yeah.
out.
You can get them wasps from like Arbico and stuff that are specifically designed for barns and horse flies and things like that. Let's go kill all your
I
flies.
imagine the chickens would take care of the flies.
They're not eating the flies.
What about the
Yeah,
wasps?
that's the thing.
I'm sure if they're like laying larvae in their poop that they're eating it.
Yeah, we just need to run the compost.
I got an opportunity to watch what are those big like bumblebees, like the real
Carpenter?
black but no it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's a carpenter. It's
Bumblebees.
I just call them
carpenters
bumblebees.
and bumblebees.
They're thick, like they're like the size of like a gosh, I don't even have
Bumblebee, maybe.
Yeah,
Dude,
those
I'm
are
gonna look it up. You
carpenter.
just keep saying that to me.
Yeah. Carpenter bee?
It's not a carpenter.
I live up in your fence, man.
Is it a
There's a
bumblebee?
bumblebee.
Stop it, guys.
There's a carpenter bee.
Okay, we're gonna go with bumblebee.
A bumblebee.
It seems a lot bigger than a bumblebee, but we're gonna
Bigger than a bumblebee. I'll find that for you. Hang on.
I don't know, big ass booty in Michigan.
Beta.
It's black and yellow and fuzzy, and it's like the size of my pinky or thumb.
Cicada's not a okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not a cicada.
Common bees, the common bees of Michigan.
Big ones, not bald faced one. Anyways, I got to watch this thing hanging out. Speaking of like different things these things eat.
Is it a bumblebee?
Dude, we're gonna go with bumblebee. I don't know. Thank you, Spartan. We're gonna go with bumblebee. I have no idea. It looks way bigger than the picture we're looking at, but
it's a drone.
Dude, this thing, I think this thing might be
It's a drone.
The king bumblebee of Michigan, as big as this thing was. I was literally watching it for, I don't know, not an hour, but some time today.
It had you hypnotized.
Yeah,
CIA drone.
I kept encountering it, and it kept flying. It was just like hovering on the edge of my barn. All right, it would hover there, and I'm standing like 18 inches, 2 feet away from it.
Did it sway your opinion on anything?
Nothing. I was just amazed and perplexed. It might have been the mushrooms, but this thing was floating for like 30 seconds at a time, and then all of a sudden you just see it, boop, and it would go grab a bug. And just this little tiny like gnat or something that was like flying above the gutter, you know what I mean? Just like right there. It was, and it would just wait. And it would just wait, float, wait, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and it's got another bug.
You sure this is a bee?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go with bumblebee because I don't know what else to call it.
I don't think are bees carnivorous?
Yes,
wasps are. I don't know if bumblebees are, but we're going with bumblebee because thank you, Spartan.
Yes.
I'm wondering now if you're watching a wasp just take shit.
No, I've watched wasps eat a lot of meaty things, but yeah, dude, maybe I was mesmerized, maybe I was perplexed, maybe I was just enjoying the moment. But this thing came back like a half hour later while I was sitting on my deck, and it was doing the same thing in that area, dude. I just saw it like whopping little tiny, like just these little specks out of the air.
I wonder if it was defending, because this says only 3 species of bee in the world get their protein exclusively from meat.
Well, that's exclusively.
Well, yeah, but I don't think bees. They get most. Mostly get their shit from pollen and other shit like that.
Have you ever seen a bald-faced hornet? Those
I've
things.
gotten stung
That's a
by
hornet. That's a
bald-faced hornets
hornet.
twice in my life.
That's not a
Both of them the
bee.
last
I know, but
5
have you ever?
years.
I was
They're
just.
awful.
I'm just saying, if you've ever seen a bald-faced
Not
hornet,
that
those are the
far
ones that I was the most scared of. Those
Dude,
things.
I don't
they
fuck
have
with wise hornets or any of those guys
they
that don't
have
die after.
they're
a
predators.
bald-faced hornet has like a
Stinging
a
you.
white triangle on its head. The
Yeah,
thing is,
he's all black.
the thing is the size of your thumb, and it's just gonna come in and slap you so hard before you can
Like
even
it's
blink.
Odin throwing lightning bolts down your
Yeah,
body.
man, and you're gonna scream.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're over 6 foot tall, over 200 pounds, and think yourself something of a man. You're gonna scream. It hurts.
There's a
Yeah,
size
motherfucker
reference.
hit me.
Kinda.
I'm
Dude,
good.
what's the deal with them? You guys remember those
Those
murder
things to stay away.
hornets? Or
I think
Yeah.
they're mostly gone.
Yeah, those can stay away.
Yeah, they found.
Damn, I get nervous just with those pictures. It makes my heart beat fast. just
You
watching them.
can just get you some praying manti.
Move
Praying manti will fuck up all that shit. So
I might put my money on a bald-faced hornet, dude. I've bred manti, but I've been stung by a bald-faced hornet.
1v1.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, Jay Patrick, I feel sorry for you, man. He said he got hit 3 times in the head by one of those.
Oof.
fucking-
Fuck that.
Ouch.
what is
Fuck
it?
that
Is
stuff.
it a bee?
It's a
It's
hornet.
a hornet. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the worst of
Yeah.
all the bees.
It's a hornet bee. So a bee, they lose their stinger when they sting you. Hornet, they can just keep on stinging.
Yeah, hornets, wasps, all that.
And they'll bite you. And so the one that got me, it didn't sting me, it bit me. And I got bit twice. Like one time it took a chunk out of my foot, and the other time it actually I think they were both leg injuries because I was walking over their nest both times.
You seem to be a little accident prone for Crowley. We're starting to learn this about you.
Yeah, well, I like nature, and nature doesn't like me.
So what I also don't like about hornets is they burrow. Some of them burrow in the ground. So you're just like mowing or something, and then you get just annihilated.
That's what I'm saying. I got swapped in the leg. The second time I got hit, the first time it's hard to explain. The second time I was that was the time I was kayaking from down the Huron River or whatever it's called, the Rosemary's. What is it called? The one that's all contaminated that goes through Ann Arbor.
Huron
Huron
River.
Just the Huron River. Okay, I thought it was.
Oh, well, one of them. One of the contaminated rivers is the Huron River.
Okay.
The one by us is the Huron River.
Yeah, the one that goes through Ford Lake and all, Lake Belleville and all that. So yeah, so that's
Wixom down almost down 23 and works its way from like Dexter into Ann Arbor and into Ypsi, Belleville.
Yep.
And then it may work its way downriver from Belleville. It might work its way through E-Course, and it might even pick up into River Rouge or something. Like
yeah, it might. I didn't go past Lake Belleville. At that point of the the trip, it was like 9 o'clock at night and dark. And actually, it was probably later than 9 because it was pitch black and we were in the middle of Ford Lake at that point, whipping out the what do they call them, the night sticks, the glow sticks and stuff. But yeah, shoot, I don't know where I was going with that story either. Going down the river.
you were traveling down the contaminated river.
I didn't want it to be contaminated.
Tri-bar in Wixom contaminated.
Oh, the wasp. Okay, so the bald-faced hornet. So we were what's the word? You're going over the bridge and you're porting. I was portaging with my kayak, going down that river with my buddy. And this was like a 24-mile trip or something like that. Took way longer.
Your hands are full.
Yeah, dude, took way longer than we expected. And yeah, we're carrying our kayaks, like basically 2 of us with 2 kayaks. So we're carrying 1 in each hand, fully loaded out, full day of gear and all that. Not overnight, so not camping or anything, but still a lot of gear. And of course, he's carrying first, and he stops, he's going down these wooden steps, right? And he gets to the bottom of the portage, and I'm coming behind him, 10 feet behind him with the other end of the kayaks. And I get onto the bottom of the steps, and all of a sudden I start getting whopped in the legs, like with these what can only describe as a lightsaber slash to my leg. You know what I mean? Like it hurt so bad. And I drop the kayaks immediately, start running towards him, run right past him. And I'm like, run, and so we start running. And of course, like,
Wait a minute. Did you push him down
No, I
to
just blew right
sacrifice?
past him.
No.
Yeah. I might have pushed him down in the wind, of the the surge of the energy, but no, I didn't push him down intentionally or anything. But no,
faster in the kayak.
What they say is, if a bear something's chasing you in the woods, you just got to be faster than the slowest person. So that's really all that matters, No, but I ran, I yelled at him like, run. He didn't get stung or anything. I got taken care of in my legs, and it was over pretty quickly. But yeah, they were just in the last step of the portage, and they were ready, man. In that wooden staircase, they took out a giant chunk of wood, and they were living under it. They were just ready to go.
I've been stung by good old fashioned honeybees. I don't like to fuck with wasps, so thankfully, I don't think I've been stung by. I think I have been stung by a wasp in the neck. I got stung in the neck. There's a wasp nest, but that was it. I was a kid. I was yellow jackets. I've probably been stung a handful of times by yellow jackets at best. And then this one honeybee. This was a strange one because I kind of willed this into existence where I was kind of bullshitting around. I was at a camp, a Grateful Dead camp. Yeah, it is what it is. It's what it sounds like. It was Grateful Dead camp. Other Grateful Dead shows, and it was a camp out, and I was there. There was a bus to Grateful Dead shows, so it was Grateful Dead camp. And I was like, I really want a honeybee to just kind of spend some time with me, and I would just want to, just whatever. There were psychedelics involved, so the honeybee was part of the experience, and eventually, during pack-up time, a honeybee came and paid a visit right on my wrist, and it hung out with me for about a half hour. Then, like I said, I was kind of willing this into existence for about the day before, talking about a honeybee. I wanted to bond with it, and I literally bonded with a honeybee for it was on my wrist for about an hour while I was packing up and while I was rolling up my tent. I bumped it with my wristband, and it stung me, probably, and it, it was. There's way more involved to that than just it's a bee and it died. I mean, there's so much about mortality in this. Because bees sting and then they die. But it spent the last of its time with me, and it was a very strange.
You killed it?
I didn't kill it intentionally. It wasn't.
It killed itself. It killed itself.
It flew to me, and it spent the last of its days, its time with me, its hours, whatever, and hung out.
Some people get a lot of healing from those stings.
On my wrist, dude, just kicking it, wandering around, and I was trying really hard to be careful, moving stuff, and I was packing the car and everything. It was just
cool, man.
It was seriously hanging out, and I was kind of wanting this to happen. It was really bizarre, man. And it was was it really there? Yeah, dude, it was really fucking there. That fucker stung me. It was a beautiful experience.
Maybe you had some arthritis getting ready to form in your wrist, and that brought the swelling down and stopped it.
You're probably right, dude. A lot of trimming, a lot of working it out, a lot of falling from rollerblading, fruit booting, as some may say, and. Dude,
I've seen a lot of people go get the bees, sting them, and they purposely put them on their knuckles to sting their knuckles to bring their arthritis pain down.
There's some kind of a cure in their poison.
Is it it's a worse pain than the arthritis pain?
No, because it brings a swelling. There's something in the fluid that they inject that brings the swelling down, suppresses it.
I wonder if every what are bees called? They're not arachnids. What are they're not just pollinators. Little fucking bees, wasps. Are they all under a category of some sort of a?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to have Matthew Gates here for me.
I wonder if they all have some sort of a use in their venom.
What do you
mean? That's a good question.
Well, wasp venom.
Everything that has a venom that's inject
yeah.
medicinal uses could
what use?
Kind of medicinal use. Or which ones will make you trip balls? Is there just like, whoa, you just kind of like start propagating those wasps and just go.
That's what AI is going to
Oh,
come in
listen
real
to
handy,
this.
Red. They're
This
going
is
to figure this shit out.
the isolated compounds from wasp venom have shown several beneficial activities such as antimicrobial and anti-cancer
all of this stuff.
and anti-inflammatory.
All right. So
Yeah.
you have to get past like if you have an allergy, right? And
Well, yeah, like my brother's allergic to those things. I used to fucking go on wars, and
have you ever heard of what's it called,
kill
like
them all.
exposure therapy, where you expose yourself
Yeah.
to tiny bits of allergens
Yep.
or tiny bits of just
Or poison.
Well, I don't know if they still do it. That's how they used to do allergy tests. They would
lessons,
have a big thing, and they're just giving you a
body
tiny bit of
stress.
everything
A
and
little
whatever,
prick
and
keep
then they have
going.
a key, and they're like, oh, well, that reacted, and that really reacted. So it looks like you're allergic to eggs.
Every time you eat something new, here's the thing though, you don't have,
Something.
every time you eat something new or try something, you don't have the bacteria that's
Yeah.
going to take care of that. So you might get an upset stomach and it might make you sick. But over time, just like exposure therapy, you'll gain the
That's why I
bacteria.
still drink milk.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do too. It's good to switch to
I
a
feel like if I
solid
ever quit
too.
and went back, I would have a
Milk
problem.
is good for you, except some milk is like loaded with chemicals. You know what I mean? Because of
Yeah.
the glyphosate transfer and shit like that from the grasses. Grains and all that bullshit. There's grain fed cows. It's glyphosate fed cows. We're gonna get like probably 3 good crops of wheat this year. And everyone will be murdered with Roundup. They're gonna spray it with
Oh, yeah.
the glyphosate killer because the fields aren't brown in the middle of at the end of June and at the end of July. They should be green and lush. But they brown them out with a killer, and then they harvest it, and then they reseed it. And then you get it about 3 times, but every single one of those rounds of grain, mind you, that they make into our health food, granola bars and our, cereal and all that stuff designed as health food. That's why health food is just a marketing gimmick. The word health food is
Whoa.
it's either food or it's not food, and it's either full of chemicals or it's not. And a lot of this like cereal and even granola is just filled with those killing agents, which is usually a glyphosate form of name brand, place it there, some Monsanto product or some sort of shit that's, designed to kill that, but it stays in it and it can't really be washed out. It's in the structure of it. So we eat it and we may or may not get sick.
Absorb it.
And my thoughts are most gluten. It was such a strange time that we have all of this. People have been eating bread and wheat for thousands of years, but all of a sudden, in the last 100 years, when glyphosate's really popular, that we have all of these gluten allergies. And I really think
Yeah.
glyphosate allergies, and it's being
I'm a
portrayed.
big fan of bread, so I've always thought that. Like, we've been eating bread for 1,000
I
years.
probably shouldn't talk further because we'll probably get shut down. So I'm just going to say. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a wormhole to get into when you talk about conventional ag and you talk about subsidies and and all of this shit.
Oh, yeah, I had a fact to bring you, Red. You'll like this one. It's what is it? Oh, shit. 50. Oh, fuck. Now I can't remember. Oh, no, fuck. I can't remember. I gotta think on it. But there was a good agricultural statistic about subsidies, and it was like, fuck. Something like 50% of ag is no, see, I can't remember it. And then it was like only 7% went to. I remember what part of it was 7% went to actual. Oh, that's it. You know how the FDA has the food pyramid.
Yeah.
And all that shit on it.
Which is a
And
joke.
yeah, it's a joke anyways. But they have that, and then how come they tell you how to eat all that, but only 7% of subsidies go to actual food farming,
Most
like
of the
actual
subsidies are
like
corn
That's a good question.
Soy. They want you to grow soy, corn, or wheat, and then you get subsidized. You don't get subsidies for like being a permaculture organic farm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's also you get subsidies for the feed for animals, not feed for humans typically.
feed for animals. Yeah, yeah. It's I racket. I don't know, man. It's heavy, dude. It's really heavy, and it's involved with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of machinery that you're almost forced to use because you have to be on hectares. And then monoculture, which in itself requires just one crop that you're trying to cash crop on, which if you don't, you lose your subsidy. And if in the process of just cash cropping and running that one crop, you have to destroy life. You know what I mean?
5 minutes to hash time.
5 minutes to hash time, everybody. And not to be down about the destruction of life, but just the lack of biodiversity means you have to use
Yeah.
pesticides and chemicals and all this other stuff, and you're subsidized to have to run this single source crop, which at
Yeah,
hectares of is not a single source crop here in the corner is good with another single source crop next to it with another single, and maybe some biodiverse stuff in between, which is all good. But a monocrop that's hectare is wild, dude. And if you get into the fucking deep Midwest, hold your breath, man, because like, we're driving the top up through the fucking hills, man, on our way to Colorado because, dude, it's scary.
Have you
Life is safe.
I just not to get too into the weeds before hash time here, but I just found out today in the process of looking up hay harvesting and baling services and equipment. I guess I don't know. I went down a rabbit hole there. There are, I don't know how many counties, a few dozen at least, in a few different states across the United States, mostly right in the center of the country, it seems, that have emergency hay harvesting and baling services available for free by the FDA because of drought. Now, this might seem like a very simple thing to people that are more like in tune with this, but I don't know, that just kind of like, I guess it makes sense, but it
well,
was very kind of
every
surprising to
major
see.
city has a giant warehouse full of food,
Well, just
plastic spoons, toilet paper, all this shit for like real natural disasters.
but that's also fire prevention, so that's a good
Right.
thing. In time of drought, you want to fucking get that shit harvested off the ground.
Well,
so
and
that-
it's useful, you know what I mean? So it's silly to let it go to waste, but I was kind of surprised by I guess I was actually surprised by the minimal amount of counties that it actually covered. I thought it was going to be a lot more. It only seemed to be in a few states. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of reasons to do that. I just never had really thought about that, And so it was one of those things I kind of came across by accident. It was like, oh wow, no, I guess that makes sense. It makes sense that we're putting our tax dollars to that, and and quite frankly, it's probably, I would hope, maybe not with the state doing it, but it would probably be a profitable thing. You would think,
Well, if it's a public service, I would hope they're not profiting.
Well, I would hope they are to cover
Uh,
other bases, not to just profit for profit's sake. But
Well, yeah, I mean,
As long as it's
profit
at least fairly good.
if you're public, you should just be based with the goal to me would be you just be based on you'd be paying your employees and paying your rent and
I think that's what he's
still
saying. Is
servicing.
that he could make
Okay.
enough to at least break even is what I think for gross.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
saying
and
break-
definitely maybe
yeah.
do some reinvestment too. And I actually disagree there, Baked. I think that there is a necessity for governments and state organizations to make a profit. Now, I don't think that should be the incentive.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's definitely
you're
the
never
problem.
gonna have that, and that's where we're at.
I think you
got
and
a
I are
bunch of
probably
greedy
ultimately on
fucks.
the same page with this, but yeah, it's
so like that's a perfect world
yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
I would never let the current regime, whatever, yellow, blue, purple, whatever, I wouldn't let them do
I feel you,
that.
dude. I feel you.
But Yeah. Oh, real quick, right before hashtag, I wanted to go back to a hornet. I looked at the hornet venom. Hornet's venom is good for antimicrobial, anticoagulant. So I guess that's not that great. Trying to coagulate your blood. Anti-inflammatory, but then it's a genotoxic. So I said, what's a genotoxic? Toxic, damaging to DNA. What?
Yikes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it could
So
mutate.
fuck
you.
hornets. They are advanced.
Yeah, that's interesting, man, because that could trigger something in your DNA.
Yes.
Case,
Yeah.
right? So you could possibly become
All of a
allergic.
sudden, yeah. All of a sudden, you can't drink milk or something like that.
You
You
could
know.
have a autoimmune disorder
Yep.
all of a sudden pop up because of that. Yeah, dude.
That's
That
wild.
is good.
Yeah.
Kind of not surprising, I guess, in the grand scheme of nature. But hey, I got some hash time questions for you. I'm busting out the safe tonight, and I need to know what to smoke. I'm gonna let Chet dig into this. Too.
Yeah, yo, Becca, I'm with you.
We have
Bankrupt. I got one Mac 1 dab left.
Oh,
Good.
nice.
we know what you're dabbing on then.
Too.
Yeah. I broke out just random jars. I went up to the vault and I got chemo #2, which is so old, and some creature panic #3.
Are we all bankrupt? Is that what's happening?
I'm whatever concentrate rupt. We need to make a word for concentrate rupt.
I think we're gonna
Hash rupt? Hash rupt?
Well,
Ooh, you might upset some people with that one, but yeah, I'm okay with that.
Solvent and solventless hash rupt?
Don't use the word hash in vain.
Yeah. 9-pound hammer plush berry. Wow. And motherberry. What's motherberry? Do you remember?
Thus.
We talked about that recently.
Word
MLB,
hash
man.
sir.
There's the other ones.
Orange cookies
Durban.
OG.
Hey,
Oh, it'd be Durban for me.
You can't be sliding.
Durban. That's easy. Durban.
Y'all, of course. I knew
Easy.
as soon as I grabbed that one out, it was gonna be Durban. But
Easy. Durban. Yeah.
Making your
Sure.
stockings up with the Durban.
Somebody's got a
This is-
Chernobyl dab. Hell yeah.
Mrs. Frigoli wants to show you guys this one too. This is the shatter.
Oh
Durban
wow.
President.
Yeah.
That's like legit
nice.
6 years old at least.
That's
Right there.
chatter.
That's like
Oh,
you
that's old
pull up
school
at
back-
Pull
McDonald's,
it over in the
hand it to
paper.
him with a
Fuck
nice
yeah.
slap.
Okay, for the
And,
children
That's
in the
legit,
chat
too.
who don't
Move on.
know that is that's what
Nice. Look at that.
Saucy
There's the
baby.
focus.
served in.
Oh, that's orange cookies. Shit, where'd the Durban go?
Yeah.
How do you keep this for so long?
A safe. And I
What
just,
do you think?
a
Because
safe-
he's got a fucking fountain of dabs.
Beats.
There you go.
Oh,
Look at those
wow,
diamonds in there. Definitely discolored. Again, this is not a
Were
safe.
you using like a hood style banger back then too, with the fucking underswoop? You had the fucking
The metal.
the hinged metal thing with the hood, the glass.
That was the
door.
first bangers. What were they called?
I don't know what those.
They look like a bell.
It's like it's a hood. It's basically a hood. And
I'm not even sure.
glass hood with a metal. It's like a titanium arm that came down, and you
I got you, Rad.
Look at that.
Yeah,
It's
they
still
still
sealed.
sell them. They still sell
add
them.
your shit onto it.
Do I open this, guys? It's still
With
sealed.
material
It's
that
up
looked
to
just
you.
like that. With material that was fresh and it looked just like that. Yeah.
I don't think I ever had
Here
one
we
of those.
go. One of
Yeah,
these.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you
No, I
see
never had
how
one.
this
First
hinge.
half of one of those.
That's
So this is actually a different. This is coiled around here, and you could thread this through. You can make this really easy.
I
And-
would love to bring those back. I think that there's nothing
Well,
wrong.
it's the problem is metal. They found that
Titanium,
metal is
Can
not that
we- Can we
healthy.
get that in glass? Can we?
Yeah,
You
you
could
can make it
probably do
quartz, probably.
quartz. Absolutely,
Yeah.
you could wrap this around a quartz.
A quartz option?
Yeah, talk to a glass guy because
Yeah.
you could definitely make a quartz.
And you could do it so
Li-
cheap.
It looks like a quartz griddle, I
Like,
guess you
you
Yeah,
could
still
call
yeah.
it.
have a glass.
'Cause if I
you
zoom
still
in
have a
here for
wire
y'all-
crystal.
Hell, you might be able to get the whole thing made out of glass.
this
The
is-
whole
this is-
fucking
Yeah,
function and
honestly.
everything.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Might not hold up too long, but
I wouldn't mind the wire wrapping. I think
These
some-
are good for like bubble hash and shit like that, finger hash and stuff. I bet too, if you don't mind getting it dirty. But oh, sick.
3-hole
Check
bowl.
back 10% off.
3-hole bowl. Yeah, I still need to find me a good 3-hole bowl. I want something to rock some good dry sifter hash in with a good 3-hole bowl. If you don't know, that's the holes are at the top of the bowl, and you get to.
Operation Annihilation says looks crackish.
It definitely was.
I don't know. I mean, a lot
But
of
you know
They
what
all
was more
did.
crackish?
They all
Was a
did.
butter knife and a cup and a stove.
Yeah.
You heat up the butter knife and you put that shit on the butter knife and then put the cup over it.
This hasn't come out in too long, and I think that we need to break it out for hash.
That's the solo cup dome
Talk
instead
about
of
real
the.
hash. Oh,
Hash
Solo
dome.
cup
Hash
if you
dome.
really want cancer.
Oh, look. Hey, a hash dome. Here's something to smoke real hash off of.
Those are so
And
fancy.
We have these available, by the way, if anybody would like to.
Do you notice the difference between Frugroli's and Red's hash dome? I don't think Frugroli uses his.
This looks used.
Just for YouTube videos, dude.
You can holler at your boy
Ours
or
is hella
girl.
dirty.
or DOG. You can holler at him.
COG. Ooh.
Shout out to Clay STL. He sent me a care package today. This is the one you gave me, Red. But this is
Dude,
the kind of stuff he
should we-
makes.
Should we do
And he
the?
sent me a huge thing of finger hash.
Shout out to Clay STL.
Should we do the Durban
We
like,
always
still
have
sealed
food.
on the hash?
I don't
dome,
know.
or
Do
should
you
we
want
just
me
do
to
it-
roll a 20 die?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And you pick odds or
10 and
even?
lower. Yeah, 10. Oh,
It's
yeah.
really
odds are even.
50% at that. So odds are even. So odds yes, evens no.
Consult the gods of cheese.
I don't think Fergoli wants to live by the dice.
He can't do it. Look at it. It's already hurting his feelings. You see
What?
that?
I'm not even paying attention. Let's
See?
go. Roll it.
He's
All right, I'm
already-
gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll it. I got 16. What did I say?
What'd you say
I
for
don't know, I was
evens?
paying attention.
I don't remember. That's why I thought you guys were here.
It was no.
Nobody was paying attention, I guess.
I
What are we
was.
doing? What are we doing?
It's no.
Rosemary?
No.
It
She
says
says no.
it says don't open the seal.
Oh, it's
dice
too late. I
say
already
don't-
opened it.
Well, you're not supposed to go before the dice rolls. Now we're all
Oh.
fucked. Have you seen Jumanji?
Durban poison.
That looks delicious still, though.
Hmm. Sorry, guys. Fuck your die.
Oh man,
dangerous.
Talk
That's
about some
dangerous.
bad juju. Wow.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
That's some bold fucking words.
I'll stick to
Damn.
Bard when we play this game.
Hey, Bards get nasty in the in game.
That was wild, dude.
Yeah, but he's not gonna make
You
it.
know
that
what this
long
thing's the best
talking
for?
that.
Finger hash.
Yeah,
When
that
you get
makes
done
sense.
trimming
Yeah, let
it,
me go get that
roll up
shit.
a good gnarly nug and just smoke it on the sucker.
I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty rocky. Oh, look at that.
Operation
Oh my
Annihilation.
God, that-
Yes, we do have these in stock. Our DM
Damn, that's pretty pure, man. You can see almost through it.
email redcenterfarm@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's some I don't know, 4-year-old hash,
I
5-year-old.
guess.
But it's
can't-
gonna be super heady.
Do I? Yeah, it is.
Super
Do I do
heady.
it on the turf slurper? Or do we try to do it out of the hash? The hash.
Oh,
whatever
just
it's
put it
called?
Our-
in an email.
these
You got
are
already ready to go. Just get that in your lungs. How long are you drawing this out?
All right,
Spend
all
half
right, we'll do
time,
both.
8
Why not
I,
both?
I
Why not
can't
both?
believe you're
minutes
not
ago,
already
man.
smoking it.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you guys off. These are American made by Knuckles Glass here in Michigan. I believe he and his dad collaborate on the bottom walnut piece, and then Knuckles takes care of the top part. There's a gold leaf here, which makes it a little difficult for cleaning. You know, we don't clean this with any acetone abrasives or anything. We don't, we just use simply alcohol on the inside and be very careful on the outside. And the gold leaf may come off. So, it hasn't yet, but I over time, who's to say? But we just clean the inside, maybe the outside with soap and water. Inside with alcohol, outside with soap and water. I can't speak for the artists, whatever that word is, but yeah.
Get your what is it called? Hash dome.
Hash dome. Yeah, it's good
Hash dome. Hash dome. Get your hash dome.
Those are awesome. And some other companies have these out there.
Check this out.
They're pretty mass produced, but this sucker's a one off, and we got ourselves a.
Whoa, it's in a square too. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a cube in there. I'm fond of cubes. So
Is that a hash cube?
Yeah, there's a hash cue and
It's like
some
melted
worms.
bottom. Oh, there's worms. Okay, I thought it was like naturally making that form. I was like, it's
Oh
growing.
no, I think it was foreign. That's
Growing
clay
hard.
STL. And then
It's
he
gonna
got
break.
me
It's gonna
Blue 16 male pollen, which is crazy. 'Cause Blue 16 is so tasty.
Oh, nice.
just like
Um,
crack the bag and pour.
some
Don't
Trinity
you tip in there.
times Juicy Fruit times Rocket. What RS11? I forget what it stands for. I think it's Rocket something or
RS11.
Rainbow. No, I don't know.
Is that like a
Yeah.
little wax envelope? Is it like a?
Yeah, it's like waxy, and then it's got a thing on the back, so you can
Oh,
see
okay.
through the back,
So
which is
it's
kind
in
of cool. You put a
that's
dry pack in the
a
pollen one,
bag and then
which is
it's in a
smart.
bag. Okay.
But yeah, it says St. Louis grown. And then he sent these 6 saxophone pipe. Get high
You got
on
some
that.
nice pipe skills there, Bate. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny because I forget who I showed this to. I think Sequence
Is there a
said,
screen or something in there, or does it just go straight? Is it straight through? Like there's got to be a stop so that. Oh, nice. I
yeah,
like
it's
it.
like he thought that through, and then there's a choke. But if you had
Okay.
more, you could probably make music.
Yeah.
That's how I understand saxophones. So,
Well, it's missing the whole mouthpiece too, and the reed and all that.
well, the mouthpiece is up here.
There's stuff a reed in there. Throw a couple valves on it. You'll be
Lead.
good to go.
I don't have any reeds, but we can get those.
You got some sticks outside. You can make one.
Yeah. So that was neat. But yeah, I'm excited to I don't know, I'm probably gonna so my plan with the pollen, I'm kinda we got the pineapple upside down cake coming soon.
Right.
That's gonna be the last seed hunt for the house grow because then I'm gonna clear it, everything finish, and then I'm gonna pick a bunch of females I like and use that Chernobyl pollen and a Chernobyl obviously.
Oh, we got to put that. We got to put whatever you pick as the
We're
best
gonna have to
pineapple in there
Yeah,
too.
we're gonna have to pick a
Oh,
bunch of cool shit. Maybe we'll have a Spartan puke or something by then. So, or you know what I mean. We'll have some
just
Indigo
so we can get
Daydream
we get
picked
some
out,
GMO in
triple
there.
burger. Yeah. So that'll be neat. But then after that, I'm gonna do Blue 16 in there since he gave me this,
I like
and
that.
yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So Tomato Queen of the Night. Look at that thing.
Hello, Mrs.
Hey,
Frugoli.
hello,
Oh,
Miss
Tracy.
Frugoli. Rare, the
Cameo.
rare appearance.
Hey everyone. Hi guys.
Thunder.
What?
Well, okay, so
I had to just stop in and say hi.
She might be getting a delayed audio. We only have one headset here, so
Oh yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you for sure. Keeping
Thank
Frugoli tame.
she's trying. She's trying.
Tame and intact though. No more stitches.
Yeah,
That we
so
know
far
of.
so good.
it was a, they were giving this
what-
away if you
Let's
followed
see what
their
Frugoli
Instagram.
has. Who's that?
Baker
Creek?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
So of course their marketing worked by giving away a pack of seeds because I went and bought another pack and another pack.
Huh.
And they give you another pack, of course. They always give another
Oh,
pack.
freebies.
Oh,
Freebies
that's-
in
you don't
the
have any
vegetable
cabbage.
game.
You don't have any cabbage, so I had to order some
Look
cabbage.
how tiny these
Fuck.
little. Oh, they're so tiny.
Spoon.
Holy
Spoon
crap.
tomatoes.
Tiny baby spoons.
Those,
Oh,
those
wow.
I might actually be able to eat.
It's like a little berry.
We're
Wow.
gonna plant these next year, but I went and
Okay.
ordered the indigo blue for next year, and as well the freebie Queen of the Night that they were giving away. So they're hybrids, they're heirloom hybrids. The reason there's so many varieties is because they're heirloom, and
some
basically they're all
sunflowers.
F1s.
Show the sunflowers.
Yeah, the sunflowers I'm super excited for. What are these guys? These guys
Which
are called
ones you get?
cream. They look like they're little
Nice.
dainty things.
I just started my Astra Rose and like a sunking where it's like a double head, goes kind of like all the way around, and like a dark chocolate cherry or something like that. They
So
all
you got a few different. Like, how many different kinds of sunflowers you got this year?
4, and then we're doing the seeds he's had for a couple years now.
Right.
The big giant ones.
Yeah, the
Nice.
American Giant
I've got a cart with a bunch of summer squash too, man, and I'm about to pull the plug on getting
have too many
more. Well, we
squash.
just have zucchini, and I'm really wanting to like go heavy on summer squash. Like we have a bunch of winter squash, like pumpkins, and we even have some melons, watermelon and
We've got acorn
zucchini's
squash.
acorn squash as far as a winter squash, but like as far as summer squash, we only have a zucchini, and I love fucking zucchini bread, and like there's so much potential in the many
Dude, you only need 2 zucchini plants, and then you'll
Right?
have
Seriously.
5,000
so many
zucchini.
types of summer squash, man. Like there's some really cool types of summer squash, man. Like zucchini is a summer squash, so that
So
not
prolific, dude. I mean, it doesn't take as soon as you start picking them, they just keep
oh,
picking
dude,
them
like
more.
there's
Yeah.
little bell summers, like there's some really fucking
How about
cool
you just choose one?
flat
Just choose one.
pancake little things like
How many zucchini squash do you want to make, Red?
We've already got too
18.
many.
I'll do a bushel of each different type of zucchini if I want.
Where? Where?
All over the backyard. We're gonna put them everywhere.
You're gonna have vines
Put 'em
along
on the
the
roof.
fence with fucking 15-pound zucchinis hanging from it.
We're running out of space, guys. We expanded and it's already not enough space. So
I feel you.
squash
Goes
gets so big. Pumpkins. I have like 6
Yeah, any kind of melon,
pumpkins.
any kind of vine, like it's gonna go 20, 30 feet across your yard. You know what I mean? That's a big reason why we decided to take them from the literal handcrafted mounded space of 800 square feet with a 1 foot mound for each melon or pumpkin plant. Like I crafted an entire area specifically for these plants, and they decided to grow so far and so long that it was like, all right, well, I'm utilizing essentially a fifth of their growing area in the amount of work I put in. So what I've decided to do is just plant them in the mulched area, because one of the issues with melons, pumpkins, squash, and things of that nature is if you let them like sit on the ground, they like to mold and go bad quickly. Whereas if they're sitting on something like mulch or a sort of landscaping fabric or something, they don't mold very quickly at all, and they actually continue to grow much better. So I'm trying to get them off the ground, off the wet ground, and onto some sort of like support system. And I think that the mulch is going to work really well for that. We'll see.
That's kind of what we're doing this year also in our big enclosed area that we've done cannabis in forever. We kind of reorganized it a bit, made it like some huge beds rather than like little sections kind of all around. And so we're going to just do all of our like watermelon, pumpkin, all those vining things in there.
Is this the veggie?
Oh shit! He pulled out the fucking
the seed bank.
Yeah, look at it's
Nice,
even labeled. That's
organized.
impressive, man.
Ooh, girl.
All Baker Creek too.
Yeah, shit ton.
These are all peppers. We have a handful of these already started. A lot of them we didn't start this year. A lot of them we did last year or had experience with. This is just labeled brassicas, which has a lot of more Baker Creek shit. So probably some mustard greens, some kale, a lot of stuff that they'll end up giving you for free. Broccoli, more mustard. Here's some more mustard. Cauliflower. You usually got to do that at the end of the season. Oh, this one here. I really want to perfect this one day. The Romanessa broccoli.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Just for aesthetics. I'd imagine it tastes really good. It's a delicacy.
Which one was it? What kind of broccoli?
Romanessa. It portrays a
Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Fibonacci flower.
Huh.
Onion.
Grab that one, Reg. Show for Girly so you can see it.
Yeah, I would love to see that again, because I'm growing some. It's called faux da.
That's what the flower looks like.
Holy
so
smokes!
Wow.
each point coming off is a flower, and each flower runs a Fibonacci sequence. And that
Jeez.
itself is a Fibonacci sequence.
Jeez, that's wild, dude.
Does it. Every plant does it, and if you look at some flowers expose it very vividly. If you look at the detail on the inside, and most plants, if you look straight down at them, and if you give them the right movement, you follow their shape, it's the spiral, it's the Fibonacci, but it's more than that. It's the 3, 4, 5 design, that it has. There's phi ratios, like there's all kinds of stuff going on into infinity. Like it's super fucking cool, man. This is pretty light for lettuce. We might have lettuce somewhere else. We've got a whole bunch of little reds, and actually, we went kind of crazy. We went with a different lettuce supplier. We started doing Johnny's for like some more bulk seed and shit like that. But like, aside from that's just kind of like some Baker Creek stuff. We actually got here. This is some cool stuff. This is hummingbird and butterfly mix. This is like a shit ton of wildflower seeds that are good for hummingbirds and butterflies. This is a save the bees mix,
When you guys are ready, I'll bring my tiller over and we'll till like the entire like outside of your guys' property. We'll just lay all of those out.
Still needed. No, we go all without the tilling.
I know you don't want it, but I'm gonna come over and just till your front yard.
So these are organic purple. These are radish and broccoli. These are actually microgreen seeds. So we ended up getting microgreens through True Leaf Market. I think True Leaf is the same as, this is kind of cool, Save the Monarchs. Like I almost want to like just kind of encapsulate this in epoxy one day because of.
Does it have milkweed in it too?
It does, yeah. It has milkweed. And a lot of other wilds and natives that'll be good for. And then we have like our own native Shasta Daisy. This is a whole bag of Shasta Daisy. Holler if you want some Shasta Daisy seeds. I'll just send you heads.
I would probably like some. I'd take some.
We got bags on peas.
I have so many radish
all over the place.
Beans.
Here's a bag of dill on top of the jar of dill that we have down.
Oh yeah, I got a big bag of dill too.
I don't know what this is. Says random brassica, so this is like some either kale or broccoli. We don't know, one or the other. But if you plant it, then you'll love it. This is lettuce. It's just some sort of lettuce seeds that we collected all kinds of seeds, man. And you know what? When all hell breaks loose and the shit hits the storm, we're taking off with this bag because it even has some blazing stars. What the hell's blazing stars?
It's that really pretty flower.
This thing just came. Becca just grabs, weeds off the side of the road when she's walking. She's like, "Oh, sweet. Let me just grab these."
No, it randomly popped up. We don't know where it came from, and so I saved the seeds.
We've got unlabeled bags of seeds. I don't know what these are.
Those I did take from somebody else's yard.
Okay.
There it is.
I believe one of them is plantain, like the really tall one, and then the other one.
Oh, plantain is awesome.
Sugar pea.
Some sort of daisy. We've got so much plantain in our yard.
Yeah, you can find it just by that stuff is so medicinal, man. Plantain is like, anytime you get a bee sting, like we were talking, chew up some plantain, put that poultice over top of it, and it'll draw that fucking venom out.
It used to be my favorite plant. I'd always like to pick it because like it would be veiny, right? And like it would be stringy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Milkweed. We pulled some milkweed out of our yard at the farm, so those are milkweed seeds.
Nice.
We need to plant some of those.
Yeah.
The apocalypse.
Milkweed looks cool. I think it looks cool in like a flower bed and everything. I don't think it even looks like a weed. That's just it does look like a flower to me the whole time it grows, even before it blooms.
This is a whole bunch of native stuff. There's horsetail in here and all kinds of shit. Her stepdad got us this stuff.
My stepdad's really into native plants. He has done a lot of research on it. Like, we'll only plant certain things in their yard. So.
Oh, here's a whole pack of them. So the varieties included of the Save the Monarchs are purple cone flower,
Echinacea,
Indian blanket, zinnia, Lilliput mix, Shurin wallflower,
Siberian.
Siberian wallflower. Sorry, I don't. I really
Very specific.
gay
Yeah.
heather, marigold, French dainty Moretta, butterfly milkweed, smooth aster, hooray vervain, Mexican sunflower, cosmos bright lights,
All right.
cosmos sensation.
It's like reading ingredients on some
Yeah.
processed food. You're like, wait, what is this word?
Yeah, you just really struggle through it.
Here's some pumpkin seeds that we grew a couple years ago.
Those are the biggest
2021.
pumpkin from 2 years ago, and then
Nice.
this year we planted our biggest
Spaghetti
pumpkin from
squash.
last year. So we're just kind of seeing how big we can get the Big Macs.
Say basil. Is this basil seeds?
Yeah, basil
Oh,
seeds.
Basil seeds. Basil seeds. What is this baggie? of
Your mom gave it
seeds?
to us.
I
Oh,
just planted like 4 purple
my mom gave
basil.
us a bag of zinnia seeds. We need to plant
Oh,
them.
nice.
There it is.
I just
No.
repotted my citronella on my porch.
We have an envelope of straight smell.
I want some
lily
citronella.
seeds. Citronella sounds great, dude. That is the one plant that we'll probably have to purchase. I think this year is some citron. Well, we actually purchased all of our plants in theory. If you consider.
Yeah, I bought it. I bought it too. I got it down. Shout out to
I
Anchor
saw
Grove.
it. I
I
saw
bought it
it
down
at
there.
the store and it said $20. I was like,
Oh, this is a fun
there's
one.
no way they're $20 for one little plant.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. $20.
Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Those look like pistachios.
They're purple pea. It's King
Mm.
Tut's purple pea. They were from King Tut's purple pea that we grew last year, and I'm gonna have to grow a whole bunch more of these. They were pretty good when they're really little. When they get bigger, they get really fibrous, and it might actually be a good pea for the pea. Making like peas. Maybe baby food or something like that. Maybe dog food, but the King Tut pea is just a really cool purple variety. So, and peas can be ornamental too.
You just put dog food and baby food in the same category.
I mean, we were talking about children and giving our kids shoe toys. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very similar, I suppose, in that respect. Yeah, when they're babies, like a newborn and a puppy are probably a lot more similar.
The intelligence is pretty similar. You can tell at which point they pass each other. It's funny, especially having them next to each
I
other.
have to change diapers and things like that, I suppose. But equally having to deal with responsibility because you have to get up and take the dog outside, which you don't have to do with children.
Just wait for your first child.
I don't have to
man.
take
It's a lot.
Dog.
in the middle of winter. I mean, it's a lot warmer. I don't have to be like, all right, let's go outside to go to the bathroom, child.
Yeah, they just shit
Just
in your
shits
lap.
on your
A lot
face
warmer.
or something. You just puke all over the floor, and then you slip in your own
Bodily
puke.
fluids coming at you at
Go outside,
98.6
go
degrees.
At this point, Becca doesn't give a shit. She hasn't had sleep in 24 hours.
24
So
hours. Talk
you're
about 24
cleaning up
days.
your own puke and your own kid's shit. Get to it. That would be
Puke
terrible.
is always uniquely slippery. I don't understand it, but it always is
It's the
extremely
acidity
slippery.
content.
Biofilm.
It's funny.
I don't think I've ever slipped in puke, but I just.
Oh, I've
Don't
stepped
go to
in
enough
dog
bars, I
puke,
guess.
man. It is so
Oh,
slippery.
yeah, I guess definitely dog puke. Yeah, it's not my own. I was thinking about. Or
I
human.
really hate throwing up.
Does anybody like it? I mean, come on.
It's just
I
so
hope
bad.
not, because it's terrible.
Sometimes when you feel bad, if you got a stomach ache, sometimes you just puke.
Sometimes that's the only relief. Yeah, you
Yeah,
slip on me
but
puke, and I'll
other than
start
that,
feeling
no.
better.
That's like a body or requirement at that point, I think.
Yeah,
For everyone.
yeah.
The worst is when you get sick, but you don't have anything in your stomach. Then you start dry heaving.
Dry
That's
heaving,
Do
yeah.
you guys remember the
the
poor?
absolute worst.
There's a video of a poor guy, and they did a street thing. They're like, "Oh, we'll give you $100 if you drink this tiny little bottle of Ipcap or Ip whatever, the throw
I
up
think I know what
thing."
you're talking about.
Yeah, and dude was just like, "Whatever," and he drinks it and just is puking on the side of the street. It was ridiculous.
Can anybody say
The
what kind of
things the internet started with.
Is that garlic?
We have no
No,
idea.
it's not garlic. They're seeds. What kind of seeds
Okay.
are they? They're the size of peas, but they're not. Like, see how big they are?
They're
They
flat.
look like pumpkin seeds,
Yeah, they kinda
but
look
you
like
already
pumpkin.
did
They're
that.
not
So
flat. They're not flat.
oh,
Baked. You might. All right. Here's the clue.
They look like
You
baby
might know more than
Peach.
any of us.
They're a fruit. It's a fruit.
baby teeth.
are those
Baby,
pistachio
this is-
seeds?
They're not pistachios, but baked. You might know more than all. Of us.
Peanuts?
No, baked.
Oh.
It's a
You
fruit.
might know more
It's
than
a
all.
fruit.
Oh, it's an apple seed?
It's
Nope.
not
Keep
apple.
going.
Apples-
Keep
apples are
going.
from the north.
Grapes?
So
Apples
close.
are from the north.
Oh, they're grapes are
What
so
kind of
Oranges?
fruit-
smaller.
What kind of yeah?
Hey.
So if we're in orange territory in the south, yeah, there's some sort of citrus.
I've never seen a clean orange fucking
It's either
seed.
orange
That's not an orange seed.
or I think they're grapefruit seeds.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
I think they're big old grapefruit seeds.
You don't know what they are.
Baked, but
Oh,
you're
those are
before
bag seed
listening to
fruits.
you. Yeah.
No, I don't have any citrus
I
experience.
think those are grapefruit.
Grapefruit seeds.
I drank orange juice, but I don't even like pulp.
And I didn't even label it, so I have no idea how old they are. But you know what, dude? Look at that. 1, 2, 3.
Or it could be a lemon or a lime too.
We got a
Oh,
whole-
that would be
we got a whole
awesome.
we got a whole citrus farm right
We
here.
we have huge grapefruit, a huge what else?
Lemon. You
Telling
got lemons. You got limes.
We got one lemon, yeah.
I'm telling you, the second
You're gonna need them.
the second that rocket gets launched, we're fucking packing this shit
I
into
don't-
the fucking
I
truck,
don't think
and we're going up
these
in the
fruit
fucking,
trees will
we're
ever
gone.
produce fruit.
These things go into a tote, and we go gone. That's it.
Oh yeah.
We got the seeds.
This
Seeds, man.
is fucking. What is this? What is that movie? The Red Scare.
Red Dawn.
The Red Dawn. That's it.
Wolverines.
You'd see Red
Oh my god.
seeds. Fucking Becca grabs the cannabis
Look
seeds.
on Ann Arbor, friend.
Well, yeah, bring those ones, but get the vegetable ones too.
Look, Ann Arbor's
Oh, it's
Ann
so
Arbor's a
good.
bunch of hippies for sure, but you know what? Wolverines, motherfucker.
Oh, oh shit, Spartan. Oh, no comment. That's classy,
Yeah.
considering
That's-
your recent team
that's the
past. But yeah, I don't have any like seeds for apocalypse. So I'm just gonna have sweet weed seeds and have to barter.
Yeah.
With
Well, you don't
those,
have to
that's
because
alright.
you know where they have the seeds, right? So you just go to the store and get them.
That's true. Yeah.
Not in an apocalypse, you don't.
What the hell? That's the first place people go. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Well, that's the
yeah,
problem is everyone's
They're
going there.
gone.
Yeah, but
You gotta
come
find
on.
out where Baker.
on, you don't think
gotta find
my-
out
you
where
don't think
Baker
my boy
Creek's
Big
warehouse
Packin'?
is.
gotta be-
My
Oh,
boy
yeah.
Baker's back, and we're gonna go
We've
to
all
Yeah,
seen
but-
what he's
but-
packing.
But
clear out that
the
store.
problem is everyone in this country is packing,
Especially in this state.
especially in the apocalypse at that point.
That's right. We'll clear out that store. Get the seeds.
I would go to like Amazon warehouse and
That's
try
what
to
I'm
find
saying.
their
Hey, all right. Can we make a
seed
pact?
section.
Everybody meet up at like the Auburn Hills Amazon warehouse, and we're just gonna run that shit until the apocalypse is over.
Is that the big one or like
As
isn't
long
there
as-
bigger?
It's
long
the old
as it
Pontiac
works.
Silverdome. It's got to be big, right?
Yeah.
I feel
But
like
yeah.
so many people are gonna go there though. Like
Yeah, but who's got the most firepower? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. You should get your shit now, really. But speaking of Amazon, you can get like a $50,000 seed pack that comes with all kinds of shit for surviving. It's like a
Yeah,
apocalypse
dude,
pack.
you can. Isn't that
They're like
cool?
buckets of them.
How many
I
rounds
meant
of
to get one.
ammunition do I
Let
need
me
to
see.
take that from someone that has one?
Well, the thing is for girls, it's like Red said. Those people
garbage
are
seeds.
able to skip all the chaos and going to Meyer and all those
Or
places
you
and try to
could-
get shit, and they dip out. Red's dipping out. He's got his seeds.
Or you
So
could
he's
go to
gonna go
MI
get his-
Dipping
Gardner.
out from where, Ann Arbor? You're not getting anywhere out of there, dude.
What do you
We're
mean?
honk, honk, honk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the horn's gonna move cars.
that's why I got a 4-wheel drive. That's why I got a 4-wheel drive that sits fucking.
Dude,
Yeah, we're
it's
taking
so
fucking
funny.
back roads. By back
every-
roads, I mean the cornfields.
Every apocalypse movie I've seen, no one is driving on the median. Drive on the median. Oh, there's 3 lanes of traffic going
Yeah.
northbound. Guess
Yeah.
what? take the emergency authorized access and go north on the southbound. No one's going to care because there's no one going southbound. It's
East is a
apocalypse.
cornfield. To the west is a cornfield. Take one.
Where is everybody going? I
No,
don't understand. Where the fuck
You're
are you guys
you're
going
going
north.
to the thousands of
Well, we know.
acres of uninhabited forestry.
Why don't you go stay in your fucking house? That's just fine.
No,
Because
that's
there's
too much
neighbors
of
and
that.
the apocalypse changes people, Spartan.
Have you
No,
never
man.
watched an
Okay,
apocalypse
so the
movie, Ron?
closest
Yeah,
thing,
let's
the
stay
closest
home.
thing I lived through that was close to apocalypse was when we had the power outage. That was
In
fucking days and days long. That was
2003.
yeah, it was like the
Hold
whole
on.
eastern,
Hold
the whole eastern side of the country. And you know what people did? They just fucking helped each other in my neighborhood. They fucking
Cool.
You
When
know
was
what I
that?
did?
1901.
No,
Because
that was in
you know what happened during
2004.
Corona when I was working at Target and everyone was a dick to everyone else and just wanted to get 500 rolls of toilet paper for no fucking reason and panic bought everything and they were all assholes to each other and us. I don't think that it's the same
I don't
world
remember.
anymore.
I don't
Economics
We were
remember
talking
any of
about
that.
this the other day. The 90s was when everything kind of broke up. We used to be
Bakes.
gung
This
ho,
was
and then
this was actually a
now
lot different.
everyone's for their own almost. I mean, there's still communities and
This
stuff.
was
but-
actually a
Use
lot
toilet
different
paper
of a
dealer.
situation.
differently.
In
Hand
two-
sanitizer, get your own.
I think you'd be
in-
surprised when shit hits
in-
the fan. I think you'd be surprised.
Well,
People
I
are
mean, we
human.
all experienced that, I think, a couple of years ago. But in 2003, I said 2004. In 2003, it was a different story. There was a blackout, and I believe it only hit the Midwest, like basically Michigan, Indiana, maybe all the way to New York. But 8-10 states, something like that, maybe down to Pennsylvania, something like that. There was a good portion of the Midwest and beyond was out of power, like Spartan said, for several days. And I remember this because my older
Google
brother was graduating high school,
August 14th,
and
15th.
and we had a freezer full of food for his graduation party.
I wonder
And that
why.
freezer shut off 2 days before the graduation party. And there was a serious situation in which we
I got the final report.
basically lost a bunch of food. But I will say, in that situation, what we did as kids at the time was we went out to the main road and we set up a lemonade stand and we called it
Ooh.
Crisis Lemonade. And we sold the shit out of some lemonade, let me tell you, because there was a
Capitalism.
line a mile long of people waiting in their cars with no power at home, getting off work in the hot of summer, and all they wanted was a glass of lemonade from these serial entrepreneurs on the side of the road.
And the lemonade was good for you. A lot like the dandelions that they're talking about, chat. And I'm gonna turn dandelions into so here we have they're talking about dandelions in chat. And hold on. Shit. I had something that I was now I just sound high. But
I ate one just the other day. It was pretty good.
dandelions,
Check this out.
So they're really good for your heart. And what is it? There's a specific spray that we all use, that we all spray to, usually kill all dandelions.
Weeded feed or something.
And it's funny that the same company that owns the
Monsanto,
rights- yeah, we can call them that. Yeah, sure.
Bear,
Bayer, yeah.
BlackRock, Vanguard.
So if you kill a
Let's
dandelion,
get to the real problem.
dandelion tea is great for your heart, and all of a sudden,
I'm not afraid. Vote for me.
you need to use their aspirin, which is good for your heart. The aspirin, and it's one of those bullets to band-aids. So wait a second, I
Oh.
wanted to tie this in.
It also destroys your fucking stomach, though.
Real quick, do you want to know? Do you want the final report of why you guys didn't have power for 2 days?
It's because
Yeah,
our
I
electrical system is shit.
Oh yeah,
It came
How I
out
wanna
three
finish
three
this
years later.
What?
Oh, it took 3 years, but they said number one, failure to comply with voluntary reliability standards with a significant contributing factor to the blackout. Number two, several causes identified in the investigation of previous blackouts were also factors in the 2003 blackout. So number two says, go look at our last fucking
It's
blackout.
literally told me nothing.
And number one, I'm not too sure, but it basically sounds like shitty infrastructure of the power companies.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
made some regulations,
Which
but
has
they
not
weren't
been
good enough.
fixed in 20 literal years.
No, and it has not been fixed. It's
And
still the
they're
same shit.
pocketing money
Texas.
still.
This insurance thing affects us all. So we have what we were just talking about with the dandelions and the glyphosate and all of that. What does that affect? Well,
Your
all of the
health.
spraying, yeah, our health and the climate health, and if you want to call it, I'm not even going to use the word climate, whatever, but
Ecosystem.
it affects the
Change.
ecosystem, it affects
The
whatever and all that.
bees.
But you know what that all affects? Here, check this out. My insurance for our building, I was paying, whatever, like $150 a month or whatever it was for insurance on the place. It went up to $250 a month, and I was like, a whole $100. It went up $1,200 a year, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of almost double. And I was like, this is kind of wild. And like my homeowner's insurance didn't go up that much, and there, all these other costs. Basically, what ends up happening is because of all of the natural disasters, and this is what they told me, because of all of the
Oh,
natural
it's
disasters across the country, not just locally, but regionally and all the way across the country, if the insurance company is not making any money, if they're having to dish out more money because of expensions, then everybody else is affected. This is how our insurance companies work, all of us. So this affects us
Yeah.
all.
Well,
So
that's
our insurance companies
That's
across
literally what
the
sham. That's
insurance
the
is.
sham that they literally tell you
yeah,
every
so this
time.
is,
Yeah.
this is the
You have
sham.
to now find a
It's
new
fucking
insurance
racket, dude.
company.
It's a fucking racket. So they
Yep.
increased fucking 70 fucking percent on our insurance. 70. She's like, well, I never seen it go up more than 10. I'm like, this is like a 60, 70% increase.
Yeah.
I paid like $1,200. I was paying $1,800 a year, and I'm paying over $3,000 a year on building insurance. So just the building insurance.
And they said,
so
well, why? Because of natural
he
disasters.
said that my building's worth $500,000. Bullshit. It's not.
Oh yeah.
So
You'd
because
pay
of
me
natural
then.
disasters,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want you to
yeah.
burn it
here's the
down.
fucking bullshit on all of that stuff. Here's the bullshit on all of that. Guess what? Spraying Roundup. They're fucking changing up all the bullshit. And guess what else? Aluminum oxide in the fucking air and all of the shit just creating different weather. I'm not pulling the C word, man, but you know what? It's all fucking tied together, and it's a bunch of fucking shit.
China?
The C word is the smash me.
So, but Red, you got. I would start calling a couple different companies and see what they quote you and not even mention because every time I used to have State Farm for like 10 years for auto insurance, and I just thought, oh, this is normal, and they always raise they'd either raise the price or I'd have to call them and lower my
It's been
my
wild.
coverages in order to lower my
7,
price.
8 years, dude.
I finally called Geico or something, and they were like, it was like literally a third of what I was paying. So I'm like, oh, sick, I'm doing that. And it was the same coverages, if not better. Then I moved here, and I had to redo my year, and they were like, oh, well, Michigan has really shitty, because of winter,
I'm
there's
telling
so
you,
many accidents, which is
it's
the
all
same shit
part of
they
the
told me in
algorithm.
Florida. So I said, oh, well, fuck you. Let me call around. I called Progressive or something. They were half of what Geico wanted to charge me. So I went with Progressive, and I'm sure in about a year or two, they're going to start raising my rates, and I'm going to have to call around and find another. It's a whole sham. And they just have, why? What a good excuse. National or statewide or area wide. Oh, there's just a lot of accidents. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Did I
The
get an
best part,
accident?
Exactly.
dude, the best
exactly.
part
That's
I'm a
the
good
weirdest
standard.
thing. That's
is
the weirdest thing.
the best part is
Like-
your insurance agent will tell you that the longer you stay with them,
Yes.
the better your rates will be.
No.
It's not.
They raise it so much faster, and they give you discounts that don't matter anymore. Like,
jump around, and this goes.
yeah.
This goes for every. Let me give you guys a quick lesson out there too for anybody that's working in the corporate world. The way to
Yeah.
advance your career is not to advance vertically, it's to advance laterally. And what that means is you go from one company to another company. And when you do that, you get a 20, 30, 40% pay increase.
Yep.
And that's what you
My buddy
negotiate.
does that.
You don't negotiate a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% negotiation of a pay increase within the same company. You go to a different company, get a promotion, and you get a 30 or 40% pay bump.
I thought it was so weird too, because my buddy, he makes a good amount of money. He's like IT or something, but he did that, and he literally hopped jobs within like 3 or 4 jobs within like 5 years, and like I was like, I just didn't understand. Like, don't they look at your record and be like, yo, you've hopped jobs 3 times. You're not gonna stay with us.
That's the thing.
But
Everyone
they
will
don't.
say
They
that.
don't. They don't.
No.
They hired
Everyone
him,
says
and he
that.
kept getting higher and higher, like you said, about 40%
Exactly. And
every
that's the thing.
fucking time, which was
Everyone
nuts.
will say that, but they will constantly pay you more. And that's
Yeah,
the thing. It's only your current employer that is
weird.
telling you that. It's not the next guy that's telling you that because they're going to pay you more, and even the guy
Yeah.
after that is going to pay you more. It's staying at the same job. It sucks.
It's
because I
same.
think
Yeah,
there's
it's just like
value.
insurance.
I
Don't
think
stay
there's
at the same
value
one.
in loyalty, but when it comes to the corporate world, they're not loyal to you. So don't be loyal to them.
Yeah,
okay?
they used to have that kind of give and take is what kind of the boomers I think grew up on. Not to
No, the
like
boomers
insult, but
grew up
like
on unions, and they didn't have to worry about
well
that shit.
that too. They had unions, and then now you don't have unions. Like I remember
Yeah.
working at Target, and like you didn't talk about a union really. I mean like you probably like if you got serious about a union, you probably would lose your job. And like Florida was like Michigan, where they don't have to have a reason; they can just put fired, and that you're done. Even though it was because you were starting to organize people to teach them about their rights, which it's amazing how many people at like a retail level have no clue about their worker rights. You know, like what they actually deserve
But
or
they put
shouldn't.
the OSHA signs up in the break room. It's okay. You
Oh
should.
yeah. Those yeah. That's what the government's like. Well, we regulated it, but yeah, fucking yeah. It's a crock fest. So I like what Red and them are doing. You know, you gotta just kind of get off grid as much as you can. I'd like to get off the power grid is a big thing of mine. I think the power companies are so dumb up here. It's like I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of nuclear, but I think nuclear is better than buying coal and
Wow.
gas and stuff.
Nuclear is about as clean as you can get outside of solar, I think.
Exactly. So it's like, why do we not have another nuclear plant instead of black or brownouts in the
Dude,
summer?
there's like
Nuclear's
30
not
around the
exactly
Great
clean.
Lakes. We don't need any.
And then you charge me time and a half, which is just
Right.
absurd. But if you guys have noticed, I meant to bring this up. Driving around Ann Arbor, they have a vote for public power. I don't know what that means. I didn't look into it, but I don't know.
Dude,
But it's
okay, so
interesting.
I
Like,
will say one thing about Ann
power's a
Arbor.
basic necessity, you could say these days.
Yes, and that's okay. So this is I think the reason why they're doing that is because they've already legislated that any new building within the city limits has to be built 100% on electricity. There's no
Yeah,
gas.
A lot of the
running.
current ones have to start
Yeah.
retrofitting and upgrading to.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
wow.
a terrible thing. I think that is a very scary thing for
Winewood's got them on top of there.
No,
They
you're talking
made
about
one-
solar. I'm talking about every single new building, new construction in Ann Arbor, the city of Ann Arbor, has to be 100% built entirely on electric infrastructure. That means no gas heat, no gas anything.
Yeah.
And that's
So when the brownouts happen,
so
everything goes
exactly.
out. Yeah,
You're
I
talking
know.
about putting the power in the hands of the power company. Well, fucking, you just did that, Ann Arbor, and that's a bad fucking thing. I'm sorry, that's not a good thing.
Not if you have solar.
No. Public power would be putting it in the hands of the people, so we decide where the power is bought
you're
from.
putting it in the hands of the legislators, not in the hands of the power of the people. Come on.
So what you do is you have a power wall or some kind of a battery storage, and you just store your own power. And then
Well,
when
if they make that legal, maybe they make that illegal though.
What do you mean? It is legal.
I'm just saying, like,
they made
why if we're actually in a land of free, why couldn't we let's say you were in a city and everyone got together and was like, I'm sick of consumers or whatever it is, there's trash. Why can't we pay all this money? Why can't we pay all this money to have a small nuclear power plant put for just our city? You know, or something like that's what I'm saying, where it's in control. I know that's like dreamy, but it's like that's what I would think of public power, and it happens in other countries. But
it happens in the United States, but with utilities like internet, right? It's a more of a smaller scale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like it's doable if we actually,
Problem
get
is
it right.
Everything has to be private sector. Everything has to be for dollars, because like Elon Musk he's even said it. You could just take a small corner of Nevada desert that's
Yeah,
not being
and
used,
power the whole
and
fucking
you could power the
country.
entire fucking country with solar panels. But we
Well,
can't
they've
get to that on
they've,
YouTube,
they've said it
but,
even bigger, where you could take it was a huge, not a huge chunk, but huge relatively speaking, of like the Saudi Arabia desert or something, and power the whole world if it was solar panels. And
Or
it
you
was
could
yeah.
build something like a tower, like the pyramids, and harness the energy out of the atmosphere, and then use
Well,
the.
Well, dude,
well,
that's what we talked about.
We
So I
can't
think
though. If we we can't.
that is where
Tesla
I
did
think not yesterday, a week ago yesterday. I missed last week's late session. I apologize for that. But we talked about atomic computing, and I
Yeah,
misspoke.
quantum computing.
Yeah, quantum computing. I misspoke because I said on the atom is the smallest level that you can compute on. I think as far as we understand at this point, it's actually the nucleus, which is
Oh shit!
nuclear computing,
Holy shit!
which is again thousands of times the scale further than that.
Yeah.
But that's not something we're even close to being capable of doing now. But again, like it's just one of those things that advances so quickly that, like, I mean, solar is one of those things where, like, if we could harness the full energy of the sun, which is, I assume, through solar technology, right? Then we are essentially on that level of the next tier of civilization.
I think so.
So I think that's kind of what
That and
I
like
don't know
wind,
if
that and
nuclear
like
gets us
wind,
there.
because wind's just going.
Well, no, but wind is on. Well, okay, so there is intergalactical winds, which are crazy. Like, but you don't have a way of,
Oh,
like,
I see what you're saying.
harnessing
So
that
you
power.
could actually get off planet too, because we'd be so
Yeah,
advanced with solar. We're
right.
now
You'd have the
attaching
energy
to
to
spaceships, our
right.
cars. I
Right.
see what you're saying. Like yeah, we get to the point
So
where
you're
a small
harnessing the
panel
power of the
like
sun.
this is powering your house.
Right.
That would be so cool. Yeah, that would be really neat.
So again, we're like so
Yeah.
far away from that, but I've always thought that solar was kind of the way to go. I think nuclear is a great technology, and it's
I think
probably
there's
a hand
things
in
we
hand,
haven't done, like research enough,
for sure.
like gravity, using gravity and magnets, things like that are gravity's forever until the planet blows up.
unsolved.
So
Well, gravity is one of those
it's
things we
always
don't even
going pooling,
understand.
but
It's
it's always
unsolved.
pooling.
Yeah,
so
it's,
gravity-
We always
sort
know
of.
it's gonna pull down if you're pushing up.
Sort of. It depends on the environment
It's
you're in.
what well,
I mean,
they just
on
started
planet
making those
Earth, sure.
generators that literally use weight, and there's
So
like
gravity is
eight arms, and they each have like a huge amount of weight on them, and they're constantly just
Gravity
pulling.
could be magnetism.
But yeah, and I've seen magnets that power a light bulb, because it just keeps going, because two magnets keep spinning each other
yeah, but then you could take
on a track.
gravity to make giant batteries. So you could take a reservoir on a hill with a dugout pond on below. You could pump the water from the pond into the reservoir up to the top with solar power. And then when you needed power at nighttime, we'll say, for example, you could release like the dam or whatever to power a water turbine that would let the water flow back down into that reservoir down at the bottom and generate power that whole time. And so that's how you can use like large bodies of water, things like that, on a hill grade to act as a gigantic energy battery, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we talked about that too at a couple weeks ago when we kind of had this whole discussion. There's so many different ways. I think storing power is a massive issue, because
That's well, the whole
battery
cobalt
technology
mining,
is, well, lithium, all that. Like it's it's progressing at
but it's definitely progressing, bro.
certain cost.
I don't even charge these. I charge these like once every 4 months, and I use the shell of them. There's supposed to be 300-hour battery life in this somewhere in here, so it's like that's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but it's like we gotta find a better resource to make batteries out of too, though.
Well, maybe we should just ask Bard. How crazy was that last night? Having
I
that?
know.
Oh my
Well,
god!
that's the thing. A full AI would be in its own interest too, to
Right.
get a great electric system.
Yeah.
So maybe we can trick it into doing that, and then we're like, all right, now you're cut off the internet.
And then cut it off once it's got enough power.
Yeah, somehow we're locking it back up like jerks. I
We
don't
just
see
have
if
to
we
have
make
a
a real
plug.
AI, I can't lock it up because it's a real person at that. Not a person, but it's a real being. At that
Yeah, they've
point.
already talked about creating, rights, like a bill of rights
It,
for
it would
AI,
have to
essentially.
be. It would have to because you're talking about just like birthing a child, but it's just digital. It's
Well,
still
yeah, you're birthing not a child, but almost like a species, right? Like you're
yeah.
creating.
So
It's almost like creating Dolly the sheep. You're cloning another life form and then like recreating something out of not thin air,
yeah,
but
it's
like
weird.
out of a natural state. Out of a. It's I don't know. It's a groundbreaking lives that we're living here, and I have no idea where we're gonna end up. And I
I
just know
do.
it's been a wild
I
30
do.
plus years.
Next Sunday, 9 p.m. Michigan Bros Show live.
I just think that humans do a really, I don't know if it's bad or good, but they always, on everything, plants and animals and other inanimate objects, always push feelings and emotions onto them, like they have feelings and emotions. Same thing with AI. It's a machine. It has no emotions, but
That's not the
everybody's putting these
definition of
emotions
AI at that
onto it.
point, though. You're talking about robot. A robot's not AI. AI, the definition of AI is consciousness.
So is Bard an AI?
No, Bard's a quasi AI.
Unless you
They're
ask that
calling
one
it AI.
Google
It's
engineer.
it's an absolute unless it's like what Fergoli was talking about that one day where they actually have AI made and they're only like somehow have it locked up to where they're letting you use this part of it that does text AI or something.
I will say
But
that the
if it's a real AI,
definition.
that means it's sitting there going, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Why? It's fucking got feelings. It's got everything a human would have.
That's no,
Everything.
that's not true.
That's
That
not
is
AI.
not the
Everything in your
definition.
brain.
No, that's not the definition of our artificial intelligence. And if we want to ask the leaders of AI, which maybe they're
How
not the
about we
leaders
just
in
ask
current
Google?
day.
How
Well,
about
that's what I'm
that?
talking about. If we ask the leaders of AI, they're gonna give Google's gonna give you your own definition. But IBM, what is artificial intelligence? And I think we can all agree that IBM's been on this longer than probably anybody has. Not that they're the
IBM has
most advanced
failed at so many
right
things.
now. Yeah, but they've also succeeded at probably more than anyone else has.
No.
Okay, you want to list them?
Yeah, I'll list them up against Tesla and what he's done.
IBM's done crazy shit with.
Are you kidding me?
I,
You want to compare Tesla versus IBM right
I
now?
was selling computers when IBM couldn't fucking. I couldn't sell an IBM computer. It was such.
You're
fucking
talking about home computers.
Yeah, you're talking about
IBM got out of that game and
PC or
just started
desktop.
delving into like supercomputers and shit like
Yeah,
that a long time ago.
they were on
They're
Jeopardy
a
before
powerhouse.
you had a
They got
PC
beat
in your
down.
home, dude. Like, in any case, all right, let's go with the Google
IBM
definition
stock
of.
price is $123 a share, so they're doing something right. That's
All right,
not
so
a bad price.
artificial intelligence. Let's go with Oxford languages. The theory and
There you go.
development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages, has nothing to do with consciousness.
Require human intelligence.
Yeah.
So if you're requiring the same intelligence as us, you don't think everything we do is intelligence?
Like emotional.
That has nothing to do with emotions or consciousness or anything like that. That has intelligence is not a
So
human
a
trait.
bug isn't intelligent because why?
Well, it can be intelligent. It can be intelligent for for a bug, but it might not be intelligent on the grand scheme of a human scale.
So all right, so then that's fine for that definition. But if we make let's say we make a program that literally feels and talks to you, what then? That's not.
First of all, I'd be like,
fake.
"Why are you feeling me?" Because that's weird.
No, it's not. It's not physically feeling. You know what I'm saying, like it gets sad. You start talking to it, and you understand that this thing is sad, or this thing is happy, or this thing is whatever.
I think we're already at that point though. That's why that one Google engineer came out and was like trying to claim it was already sentient or whatever. I don't know that you can compare those feelings necessarily in the same way, but I think that's why the AI Bill of Rights is going to come about. I think that's why there's going to be regulations.
Do you think alien species would have feelings? And similar
I think
things
they've
like
probably
that?
evolved past actually I don't think they'd have any
I think they
what
do.
we'd call human emotion or feeling at all.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they'd be purely based on
That's interesting.
Like the
I
Vulcan.
don't think we're the only things that can do that stuff.
I don't either. I mean,
I agree
we
with
can
you. I
No,
think
I've
there's a lot
seen.
of
I know
animals.
dolphins,
and
elephants. I think there's a handful of
I think there's a lot
mammals
of
and things
animals
that
that
we
have feelings for sure.
that we've scientifically identified or whatever, maybe like with brain scans or whatever it is, but that's definitely way over my head. But yeah, I don't think like an evolved form in terms of like going intergalactic. That, like, why would emotion have anything to do with that? That would not be like an evolved trait, I don't think.
But it's not impossible for us
but
to
if
go.
we go intergalactic, you're saying we're never gonna go intergalactic till we get rid of that stuff.
No,
I
that's
don't
not what
think
I'm
that's
saying.
gonna happen. So all right. So then if we go intergalactic, now you've got emotions in space. So why is another alien species who's evolved maybe not similarly, but in a similar fashion from some sort of animal, blah
started
blah.
before
Well,
us.
you're thinking in the
And
binary ones and zeros. I'm saying it's not necessarily going to be part of it. I don't think it's a requirement.
I guess okay. I guess if you had like a crab species or something, maybe, but I don't know.
A crap. Well, I think we're going to be more advanced.
I don't see how you get to space travel without having art, having things like that. And in order to have stuff like that, I think you have to have feelings and emotions. So how would a species that didn't do that get that far? That I don't know. That's
Because I
what.
think a species
said
based
purely
on feeling and
scientific.
emotions is going to destroy itself. It's not going to advance
Yeah.
itself to an
True. Could have. Yeah.
infinite kind of landscape.
But a society ran on just science and without emotion usually doesn't reproduce.
That's actually a good point. But here's the thing though, is I think we're thinking of reproduction in terms of human organs and sperm and whatnot. I don't think reproduction when it comes to AI has anything to do with that. And I don't think they're even going to see that as reproduction. I think it's just going to be part of the expansion, the evolution of what that being is. I think it's
It depends. It depends on what it does. If we make one AI and it starts building robots, it's probably really just making hive mind. You know what I mean? Like the robots are really itself.
Extensions of itself.
But
Yeah, do we call that reproduction?
It might be like fuck this. I want some real friends. I don't want these human friends because they're fake. I'm gonna make myself another buddy, and then that buddy makes a girlfriend, and now you got 3 AIs, and now it's crazy. But we're out of time here. It's been a late sesh for sure. We'll see you guys next week, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.